Chapter 4563. Lin Xian took a deep breath and walked towards the Shao clan. He was overjoyed because he knew that the Tianji Divine Eye was evolving into the Rinnegan. However, it was too difficult to evolve into the Rinnegan. Although he had received the inheritance of the Eye of Reincarnation from the Chen Grand Sage, the difficulty was not ordinary. Thinking about the evolution of the Nine-Yang Saint Body and the Dragon Sword Soul, he knew that the more powerful the attack, the harder it was. The more powerful it was, the harder it was to grow. Now that he had the Tianji Eye, it was equivalent to giving Lin Xian a powerful soul resource. As for the other soul secret techniques, they would allow him to gain a deeper understanding of the Tao of the soul. Shao clan, let me see how magical the Beast Tamer clan is. He walked towards the Shao clan. The Shao clan was a powerful clan in Shanghai City. Hence, the Shao clan's mansion was majestic and took up a vast amount of land. As an ancient city, Shanghai City was extremely vast, like a small world. The Shao clan was in the north of Shanghai City. Lin Xian flew for a long time before arriving at the Shao clan's territory. Looking at the majestic buildings in front of him, he was amazed. As expected of a top-notch clan, it was majestic. Lin Xian walked forward. He realized that the situation around him was not right, so he stopped. As he walked towards the Shao clan, there was no one around as no one dared to stop in front of the Shao clan. Moreover, Lin Xian felt that there were countless pairs of eyes looking at him. He squinted his eyes and his eyes flashed. In the next moment he turned around and was surprised. It turned out that the plants on both sides of the street near the Shao clan were all monsters. Moreover, they were in charge of scouting. The gazes from before were from these plants. Lin Xian was surprised. As expected of a Beast Tamer clan, they were powerful enough to tame these plants and scout. He ignored her and continued to walk forward with a smirk. When he arrived near the Shao clan's main gate, he stopped. He realized that there were many willow catkins floating around the Shao clan. These catkins danced in the wind and circled around. It seemed to form a defensive array. Such an array surprised Lin Xian. He didn't act rashly. He felt a shocking aura from the catkin which seemed to be able to threaten him. Interesting. He was becoming more and more mysterious. Lin Xian was looking forward to it. He stopped and carefully perceived it. He wanted to see who exactly this Lu Su was. At this time, a few figures came from the street in the distance. They were very fast like lightning walking over. At the same time, some voices could be heard. Fairy Yun Shu, are you satisfied with this item? This was the voice of a young man. The other young man said with a smile. That was for sure. This time they had prepared meticulously. Fairy Yun Shu would definitely be satisfied. At this moment, a woman's voice rang out. This time it's not bad. You guys are very thoughtful. Fairy Yun Shu, you're being too courteous. We're your disciples, so it's only right that we help you. At first, the sound came from afar, but in the blink of an eye, it had arrived nearby. Accompanying it was the terrifying aura of a demonic beast. At this moment, a voice rang out. There was someone up ahead. Who was it? Who dared to be in the territory of the Shao clan? This person looked very suspicious. Could it be that he was sent by another clan to investigate the situation? Take him down. There was an angry roar, followed by the roar of a demonic beast. A violent force pressed forward like a storm. Lin Xian had been observing the catkins before. What was so special about them? Suddenly, he sensed that a few people had appeared behind him. One of them was charging towards him. He turned around abruptly and a cold light appeared in his eyes. He realized that it was a demonic wolf that was charging towards him. It had reached the realm of a sage. He snorted coldly, and a cold murderous intent burst out from his eyes as he charged towards the demonic wolf. The demonic wolf was terrified. Its body trembled as it kept retreating. The person on the demonic wolf was also sent flying. He floated in the void and his face turned cold. The demonic beasts beside him also let out uneasy roars. One by one they became violent. The people on the demonic beasts were stunned. Damn it, what's going on? They all rose into the air. Who are you? How dare you disturb Fairy Yun Shu's mount? Do you want to die? Those people shouted angrily. Lin Xian turned around and the demonic beasts were terrified. There were a few figures standing beside him. There were 5 of them. One of them was a young man, and the other was a woman in purple. She stood there with a cold expression, and her beautiful eyes stared at Lin Xian. Someone from the Shao clan? Lin Xian's lips curled up. He did not care about these people. Instead he asked, how can I join the Shao clan? Is this guy here to join the Shao clan? The surrounding people discussed. They all looked at Fairy Yun Shu. Shao Yunshu's face was also cold. You want to join the Shao clan? You've disturbed my mount. Don't even think about joining the Shao clan in this lifetime. Men throw him out. Xiao Yunshu snorted coldly and then walked forward. The surrounding youths quickly controlled the demonic beasts. A few people climbed up. Two of them stopped and looked at Lin Xian. Little brat, are you going to scram or do you want us to do it? Looking at Yunshu's disappearing figure, Lin Xian's lips curled up into a cold smile. He attacked at lightning speed and attacked the two people. The two of them snorted. You're courting death. One of them attacked Lin Xian. His body was very strong like a giant. The other person let out a sharp cry and attacked Lin Xian. This was a combination of physical strength and soul attack. The two of them worked together and the power was very terrifying. However, it was a pity that they met Lin Xian. Lin Xian slashed out with his sword. Whether it was physical strength or soul, everything was destroyed by him. In the next moment his eyes flashed. The golden light looked at the two of them. The two of them felt like they were shrouded by a god, and they knelt on the ground with a bang. Lin Xian began to ask about the Shao clan. Not long after, he got the information he wanted. With a wave of his hand, the two of them were knocked unconscious. The two of them were sage kings, but they were in a very miserable state. Gate Court. These were the identities of the two of them. Lin Xian was not the only one who wanted to join the Shao clan. Countless strong people wanted to join because the Shao clan was a family of beast tamers. Moreover, there were a few famous geniuses in the younger generation and other people wanted to make friends with them. If they could marry one of the geniuses, they would have a meteoric rise. This was also the reason why these gate courts wanted to join the Shao clan. Once they joined, they would not be battle servants, nor would they be members of the Shao clan. Instead, they would be guests of the gate court. Their status was not as high as the Shao clans, but those strong people were willing to join because this was a chance for them to rise. The Shao clan was not the only one who was like this. It was the same for other top beast tamer families. Chapter 45-64. Lin Xian did not have such thoughts, but he was here to join the Shao clan. He had received news that there would be a test in 5 days. At that time, those who passed the test would be able to join the Shao clan. Such a test was extremely difficult. Normally, one would not be able to pass without the cultivation of a Saint King. Even if one was a Saint King, one would need to have a strong physique and soul. 5 days, huh? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Then he would come back in 5 days. 5 days passed in the blink of an eye. On this day, Shanghai City became lively because it was the day of the Shao clan's test. Once they succeeded, they would become part of the Shao clan. They would have a chance to get close to Xiao Yunshu and even have a chance to meet the legendary Xiao Xiu. The huge square of the Shao clan was filled with people. There were 2 demonic beasts in front. One of them was a majestic crane, and the other was a huge snake with a murderous aura. Its pair of green eyes were filled with terrifying power. At this moment, a Saint King walked up and charged towards the crane. The red-crowned crane's wings fluttered. His feathers turned into flying arrows, covering the sky and covering the earth as they attacked. 10,000 flying swords. 20,000. 30,000. When the 30,000 flying swords arrived, the Saint King retreated. Cracks appeared on his body and his face turned pale. The crane retracted its wings and said coldly. He could only withstand 30,000 flying swords, which was a lower defense. Hearing this, the Saint King's face turned ugly. At his level of cultivation, he could be considered an expert in his own right. He would be respected wherever he went. But at this moment, he had become a lower existence. He was unwilling to accept this. But there was nothing he could do. The crane in front of him was extremely terrifying. Every flying sword it shot out was terrifying. He could only withstand 30,000 flying swords, which was already his limit. But unfortunately, he did not meet the requirements of the Shao clan. The surrounding people were also discussing. This guy looked strong, but why could he only withstand 30,000 flying swords? I heard that he was an expert from the body refinement sect. No way, that would be a disgrace to his sect. His master seemed to have some connections with the Shao clan, which was why he could participate in the test. Otherwise, I don't think he even has the qualifications to participate in the test. Cold laughter could be heard from the surroundings. Among them, some of them had already passed the test and become disciples. There were also some people who came to watch the show. The expert from the body refining sect lowered his head deeply. The surrounding voices were like sharp swords stabbing into his heart. He was too ashamed to stay here any longer. He roared at the sky, tore open the void and fled. Okay, next one. The red-crowned crane at the front spoke again. A figure walked out and the surrounding crowd was shocked. Within the crowd, Lin Xian stood there, his eyes flashing. Was this the so-called test? He could tell that the crane's flying sword was used to test one's physique. As for the blue-eyed snake, it was used to test souls. Only those with outstanding physiques or souls were qualified to join the sect. If that person was placed in another world, he would definitely be a top expert. However, in an ancient city like Shanghai City, he was nothing. It was actually young Master Xiaoyao? The crowd exclaimed in surprise. The figure that walked up was extremely famous. It was a man in blue robes. His face was handsome and he held a fan in his hand, looking just like an immortal. He strolled casually as though he had ascended to immortality and came to the front. I want to test my soul, Mr. Xiaoyao said indifferently. The white-crowned crane nodded its head, and the blue-eyed snake beside it let out an extremely sharp glow. A pair of eyes of the void appeared in the sky. They were jade green in color, and they were emanating a frightening power of the soul. The surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. This was too horrifying. After the first jade green eye, the second and third appeared one after another. Very quickly there were 7. 7 eyes of the soul enveloped Mr. Xiaoyao. Mr. Xiaoyao was able to defend against all of them. He only left when the 8th eye of the soul appeared. The surrounding people were shocked. Heavens! Mr. Xiaoyao's soul was truly strong. To think that he could defend against 7 eyes of the soul. No matter where he was, he would be a top soul expert. Why would he come here and be willing to join a sect? Don't you know that Mr. Xiaoyao is here to chase after Fairy Yunshu? So that was the case. Everyone was enlightened. Xiao Yunshu, the pride of the Xiao clan. She had a peerless beauty, top-notch talent, and an extraordinary identity. This made her the famous pearl of Shanghai City. Countless experts and geniuses were chasing after her. Mr. Xiaoyao was naturally no exception. This person was pretty strong. In the distance, in the pavilions that were floating in the sky, the experts of the Xiao clan stood there. They looked at the scene in the square and started discussing. Amongst them, some of the ladies of the Xiao clan laughed. This person is pretty good. But it's a pity that he's not here for us. Yunshu Mimi, he's here for you, you know. Many ladies of the Xiao clan looked at a figure in purple. It was Xiao Yunshu. Xiao Yunshu looked down and nodded her head slightly. Not bad indeed. This person could become her disciple. Below, Mr. Xiaoyao, who had successfully defended against the 7 eyes of the soul, smirked. He walked back with victory, receiving the envy of countless people. When he came to the crowd, he frowned slightly. This was because there was a person who was expressionless. He looked at that person. That person was wearing a red robe. He could not detect the aura on his body. It seemed like he had not reached the Saint King realm. Such a person dared to be expressionless in front of his victory. How despicable. But soon he ignored him. He was just an ant. Maybe he did not know what it meant for him to block the 7 eyes of the soul. With his talent, if he was not chasing after Xiao Yunshu, would he need to come here? He was confident that if he was given 3 years, he would be able to chase after Xiao Yunshu. At that time he would be the master of the Xiao clan. Lin Xian looked at Mr. Xiaoyao expressionlessly. What was there to be happy about blocking the 7 eyes of the soul? He shook his head slightly. Ignoring him, Zhang Xian continued walking forward. Around them, countless people turned their heads. Was someone participating in the test? The current Mr. Xiaoyao had pushed the test to the extreme. No one could beat him. Now, after Mr. Xiaoyao, everyone would feel the pressure. For a moment, no one dared to step out. But now, someone actually dared to step out. He had absolute confidence in his own strength. Which top-notch Mr. came to chase after the fairy? They all looked over. But when they saw Lin Xian, their faces were filled with shock. Who was this person? Which sect was he from? Which clan was he from? No idea. He was unfamiliar. They had never seen him before. Maybe he came because he wanted to become a disciple. That would be pointless. I reckon that this person would also end up being eliminated. Chapter 45-65. Even an ant dares to step forward? Young Master Xiaoyao looked at him and sneered. Far away in the sky, the people in the pavilion laughed when they saw this. Xiao Yunshu frowned. What's going on? It's this guy? Didn't she ask someone to get rid of this guy? Why is he still alive? Moreover, he came here to take the test. Seeing Xiao Yunshu's expression, a girl beside her laughed. Does Sister Yunshu know this guy? Xiao Yunshu snorted. I don't know him. Damn this guy. Let him take the test. He won't pass anyway. What do you want to test? Below, Bai He asked. Lin Xian looked at Bai He and said, Test his physique. Test his physique? Is he also a physique cultivator? Many people were surprised. He nodded. He treated those who came to take the test seriously. Next, it spread out its wings and countless feathers once again turned into flying swords that flew towards Lin Xian. 10,000, 20,000. Young Master Xiao Yao sneered. This guy's physique is so weak. He can't even block 10,000 flying swords. Soon he was stunned because he found that Lin Xian had blocked 30,000 flying swords. This guy's physique is so strong. In the pavilion, Xiao Yunshu was also surprised. This was a little interesting. It was beyond her expectations. Her lips curled into a sneer. She wanted to see if he could block 10,000 flying swords. She knew by his methods. She guessed that his limit was 50,000 flying swords. But soon, the smile on her face disappeared. Below, Lin Xian had blocked 70,000 flying swords. Not only her, the other people in the Xiao clan were also surprised. The people below were even more shocked. This guy's physique is so strong. Blocking 70,000 flying swords. In terms of physique talent, it was not weaker than young Master Xiao Yao's soul talent. Indeed, young Master Xiao Yao blocked 7 soul eyes. Lin Xian blocked 70,000 flying swords. They were evenly matched in terms of talent. Young Master Xiao Yao's face turned cold. Damn it, how could it be? Did I misjudge? This guy is a genius that is not weaker than me? Then what is he doing here? Is he here to pursue Xiao Yunshu? For a moment, Mr. Xiao Yao had taken Lin Xian as a strong competitor. The White Crane was equally surprised. He asked, "Should we continue?" Lin Xian nodded and continued. The number of flying swords continued to increase and soon reached 90,000. However, Lin Xian still did not retreat. When the 100,000 flying swords disappeared, the entire scene was silent. The crowd found it hard to believe that this young man could withstand 100,000 fairies. The White Crane did not attack again because the limit of the entire test was 100,000 flying swords. There was no need to continue testing. This person's physique was extremely strong. In the sky in the pavilion, Xiao Yunshu was also stunned. She had looked down on this person before. He was just an ant who had scared her demonic beast. He deserved to die. But now she changed her mind. She stood up and said in a clear voice, "I want this person." His voice was transmitted down. The people in the square raised their heads and looked into the distance. They all cried out in surprise. It was Fairy Yunshu. Heavens, she actually said it herself. This person's future was limitless. Could it be that Fairy Yunshu had taken a fancy to him? Many people were envious of Xiao Yunshu. Young Master Xiao Yao came back to his senses. His face was ashen and ugly. He gritted his teeth so hard that they broke. This damned brat. He actually stole my limelight. This scene should have belonged to him. Damn it. He stared at Lin Xian, his eyes exuding an extremely cold killing intent. Lin Xian looked into the distance and saw Xiao Yunshu. He was also stunned. Then he said, "I refuse." What? The crowd was stunned again. They could not believe what they had just heard. Fairy Yunshu had personally invited him, but he had actually refused. This brat must be stupid. Young Master Xiao Yao almost vomited blood. What kind of joke was this? This was the scene he had dreamed of, but he had been so easily rejected by the other party. The people of the Xiao clan were in an uproar. Xiao Yunshu was even more furious. What did he say? "You dare to reject me? Do you know what you're saying? I'll give you a chance to take back your words." She looked down from above like a god looking down on the people below. Lin Xian said, "I didn't come to the Xiao clan for you. I came to find Xiao Xiu." Where was she? Xiao Xiu. The people of the Xiao clan were shocked. They looked at Lin Xian with strange expressions. Xiao Yunshu was even more stunned. Then she sneered. "Who do you think you are? You want to see Xiao Xiu? Let me tell you, you won't have the chance." The others were also in an uproar. This brat was not here for Fairy Yunshu, but for Fairy Xiu. Unfortunately, even if he blocked 100,000 flying swords, he was not qualified to become Fairy Xiu's disciple. What? Lin Xian asked with a frown. He walked over from behind and said in a deep voice. Xiu had been cultivating in seclusion recently. More importantly, she did not need a disciple. Indeed, Xiao Xiu did not have a disciple by her side. Perhaps she would not have one in the future. So that's the reason. Lin Xian frowned. He said, "All right, I'll follow you for now." Despicable brat. Xiao Yunshu was about to faint from anger. What was she? A backup? Damn it. She wanted to refuse, but after thinking about it, she sneered. She must take this brat in and then slowly torture him. She would let him know the consequences of offending her. After the test, Lin Xian, young Master Xiao Yao, and 3 other people became Yunshu's disciples. After Yunshu left, he brought the few of them to his residence. 5 people in addition to the original 10. Xiao Yunshu now had 15 people by her side. Xiao Yunshu stood there and looked at young Master Xiao Yao with a smile. Xiao Yao, these people will be under your command in the future. Is that true? That's great. Fairy Yunshu was relieved. Young Master Xiao Yao was stunned for a moment, then his happiness disappeared. He glanced at Lin Xian with a complacent look. This brat was so talented, but he dared to offend Xiao Yunshu. Looks like he'll be unlucky in the future. Alright, get ready. We'll go hunting in 10 days. After saying that, Xiao Yunshu left. She had her own things to do. Alright, everyone listen to me. Go and get ready. This time we must make Yunshu satisfied. Young Master Xiao Yao waved his hand, looking like a leader. The others had seen young Master Xiao Yao's talent and naturally knew his strength, so no one resisted. Lin Xian glanced at him, then found a mountain range and sat down cross-legged. Damned bastard, did you not understand my orders? Young Master Xiao Yao saw this scene and was furious. This brat dared to ignore him. Lin Xian opened his eyes and said, I came here to find Xiao Xiu, not to listen to you. If you want to order me around, you can defeat me. Of course, if you challenge me, you'll die if you lose. After saying that, Lin Xian closed his eyes. Damn it, young Master Xiao Yao was mad. He really wanted to attack. However, when he thought of his opponent's physique, he was not confident. Chapter 45-66. Lin Xian closed his eyes, sat on the mountain peak and began to cultivate. A spell appeared in his mind. Song of Illusions. This was taught to him by Xiao Mu, and it was also the Xiao family's secret technique. It was a terrifying soul technique. Lin Xian was browsing and comprehending it. He came to the Xiao mansion not only to help Xiao Xiu, but also for his own cultivation. Moreover, he had an idea. Since this was Shanghai City, and everyone was a beast tamer family, why not use this opportunity to become a beast tamer? This way, even if he was alone, he could control thousands of beasts. When the time came, he could return to the Misty Peak and take revenge. One must know that other than him, his old friends were all suppressed there, waiting to fight. Lin Xian wanted to go back and save them, but it was impossible with his own strength. If he could control thousands of beasts and kill his way back, then who could stop him? Therefore, Lin Xian decided to quickly comprehend the Song of Illusions and other soul techniques to control the beasts. 10 days passed in the blink of an eye. On this day, Xiao Yunshu came again. She was riding a beast, looking extraordinarily majestic. Today, she was wearing a set of exquisite armor. She also wore a jade flute. She looked like a fairy who had descended to the mortal world. The other families were stunned. Xiao Yunshu looked around and frowned slightly. Lin Xian didn't come? She looked at Mr. Xiao Yao and asked, Is everyone not here yet? Mr. Xiao Yao also frowned. After that guy came, he found a place to cultivate and didn't care about anything else. I'll go find him now. After saying that, she prepared to lead the others to suppress Lin Xian. A figure flew over. I'm not too late, right? Xiao Yunshu saw Lin Xian and snorted. You came in time. Let's go. She waved her hand and immediately the people around her moved with her. Xiao Yunshu's mount was extraordinary. It was a beast of heaven and earth, a jade white lion. He sprinted through the air as clouds rose from beneath his feet. He carried Xiao Yunshu with him as he flew through the air at an incredible speed. The surrounding sects also took out their own mounts and followed. Even young Master Xiao Yao had one. Young Master Xiao Yao was sitting on a blazing godly hawk, looking extraordinarily mighty. Lin Xian was the only one who didn't. He stepped into the air and flew. The surrounding people originally wanted to laugh at him, but they realized that Lin Xian's speed was really fast. In the blink of an eye, he was already out of sight. Damn it, they also urged their mounts to give chase. Shanghai City had a unique geography, with one side facing the mountains and the other side facing the ocean. This time they were going to the 100,000 mountains. There were many demon beasts there. Every beast-taming family would go there to look for demon beasts and bring them back for training. Xiao Yunshu stopped in front of the 100,000 mountains and said coldly, Alright, I'll give you another test this time. Go down and come back before dark. Whoever brings back the most demonic beasts and the highest grade will be the winner. I'll reward whoever is ranked at the top. The eyes of those men Ting lit up as they flew down towards the mountain range swiftly. Mr. Xiao Yao was equally excited. He knew that the time of the Mountain Sea Beast Trials was very close. The Mountain Sea Beast Trials was a battle held in Shanghai City. All the beast-taming families in Shanghai City had to participate. These beast-taming families were very powerful, but they were still no match for Shanghai Palace. Therefore, the geniuses and experts of these families wanted to join. The only way to join Shanghai Palace was through the Mountain Sea Beast trials. As long as one could achieve good results in this battle and shine brightly, they would be selected. Xiao Yunshu would naturally participate in this Mountain Sea Beast trials. Moreover, she would choose some helpers to help him. If he was selected, he could stay with Xiao Yunshu every day. This way, the chances of catching up with her would be much higher. Young Master Xiao Yao's eyes lit up. He clenched his fists. He must get this spot. Lin Xian didn't know about these things. He was thinking about how many demon beasts he had to fight. He didn't want to show his strength and talent. Therefore, he was prepared to keep a low profile. Boom. Boom. Lin Xian moved quickly. He didn't care about ordinary demon beasts at all. He also ignored those saint-level beasts. Because with his current strength and vision, to be his opponent, one had to be at least Saint King level. Therefore, Lin Xian fought 10 Saint King level demon beasts. These demon beasts were very strong at first. When they saw a small human daring to come, they immediately roared. But with a single slap from Lin Xian, these demonic beasts had all submitted to him. That should be enough, right? Lin Xian used the chains of law to bind these demon beasts. Then he looked at the time and realized that there was still half a day before the sky turned dark. Therefore, he prepared to continue comprehending the phantom sound song. On the other side, young Master Xiao Yao and the other disciples were also attacking with all their strength. Young Master Xiao Yao's eyes flashed. He was an early Saint King. With his strength, it wasn't a problem to control saint-level demon beasts. However, it was more troublesome to control demon beasts of the same level. With his current strength, he could only control 3 at most. Moreover, this was only suppression. It wasn't control. If he wanted to control a demon beast of the same level, he might not even be able to do it. If demon beasts were so easy to control, then Shanghai City would have become the #1 city in the world. After suppressing 3 Saint King level demon beasts, young Master Xiao Yao heaved a sigh of relief when he saw that the sky had turned dark. He smiled happily. With his results, he was definitely first. He prepared to return. On the way back, he received a message from Xiao Yunshu. She said that she had something to do and that she would leave. As for the results of the competition, young Master Xiao Yao would decide it himself. Then he would report the results to her. Young Master Xiao Yao was stunned. He didn't know what made Yunshu leave. However, he didn't care. He returned first and waited. The demon beast behind him was caught by him. It was inside the demon beast bag. This was given to them by Xiao Yunshu. Could be used to store demon beasts. Not long after, the disciples returned one after another and handed over their demon beast bags. Lin Xian had also returned and tossed a demonic beast pouch to the other party. Someone asked where Fairy Yunshu was. Young Master Xiao Yao said that she had something to do and left first. I will take charge of the following matters. Your demon beast bags are already with me. When I return, I will pass them to Xiao Yunshu. Now return. Everyone returned. After young Master Xiao Yao returned, he couldn't wait to check the number of people. He realized that he had suppressed the best demon beast. He thought that the first place would definitely be his. This also meant that he could participate in the Mountain Sea Beast battles with Xiao Yunshu in the future. However, when he saw that there were 10 Saint King level demon beasts in Lin Xian's demon beast bag, he was stunned. Damn it, how was this possible? This fellow actually obtained the stone. How did he do it? He was really shocked. It was more than 3 times his. Chapter 4567. Young Master Xiao Yao didn't know that this was because Lin Xian wanted to keep a low profile and didn't want to show too much strength. That was why he suppressed 10 beasts. Otherwise, the number would probably scare the other party to death. After all, with Lin Xian's current strength, even the peak of the Saint King stage didn't know about his opponent. Perhaps only a late-stage Saint King could give him pressure. Therefore, these early-stage Saint King beasts were really not a challenge. To young Master Xiao Yao, it was not ordinary. Young Master Xiao Yao's eyes were red. He took a deep breath and gritted his teeth. He made a decision in his heart. He decided to exchange with Lin Xian. Originally, Lin Xian's name was written on the beast bag. He used his soul to erase it and wrote his own name. Then he walked towards Fairy Yunshu's palace. Then he took the beast bag. Xiao Yunshu was a little depressed when she returned. She had been waiting in the 100,000 mountains. About 2 hours later, she noticed that there were some strange movements. So she went to search. She saw a small beast. Although it was weak, its bloodline was very powerful. It made her happy. She was ready to chase after it. She flew all the way, but in the end this little guy escaped. She returned without any success and was sullen. She casually looked at the beast bags. The number of beasts inside couldn't be said to be bad, but it wasn't enough to satisfy her. However, when she saw a beast bag, her eyes suddenly lit up. She carefully found that there were 10 beasts inside. And they were all early-stage Saint King. To be able to suppress 10 such beasts in a day, one could imagine that it was very strong. After all, the 100,000 mountains was very big and these Saint King level beasts were all strong. They would have their own territory. It was not easy to find it in a day. Not to mention suppressing them. It was normal if she was given more time, but to do it in a day it really surprised her. She looked at the name of the beast bag and found that it was young Master Xiao Yao's. She immediately looked forward. Did you bring this? Young Master Xiao Yao was nervous because this was Lin Xian's. At this moment, he gritted his teeth and said, "Yes, this is mine. I was lucky today so I found a few more beasts and suppressed them." Very good. The corners of Yun Shu's mouth curled up into a smile. Seemed like the strength of this young Mr. Xiao Yao was even stronger than she had imagined. With proper training he might be able to become her helper. After all, the Mountain Sea Coliseum was about to begin. She was in dire need of a helper. Then she saw Lin Xian. Lin Xian's demonic beast pouch had 3 Saint King class demonic beasts, which were not bad. However, they were still lacking when compared to young Master Xiao Yao's. Shaking his head, he ignored him. Perhaps this fellow only had a slightly stronger physique. He was probably still lacking in other aspects. Next up, she would focus her attention on this Mr. Xiao Yao. Satisfied, young Master Xiao Yao left. That's great. After that, he went back to announce the names of the sections. When Lin Xian found out that the first place was actually young Master Xiao Yao, he wasn't surprised at all. That was because he felt that he was keeping a low profile and had no intention of getting first place. However, when he saw that young Mr. Xiao Yao had suppressed 10 monstrous beasts while he only had 3, he frowned. The situation had changed. He had suppressed 10 monstrous beasts, so how did it become young Master Xiao Yao's? He looked at the other party and quickly understood that the other party had made a move in the dark. His lips curled into a cold smile. Young Master Xiao Yao naturally saw this scene as well. His face sank as he walked over. "Kid, you have offended Fairy Yun Shu previously. I hope that you can keep a low profile and not cause trouble for me. Otherwise I will chase you out." Obviously this was a warning. Lin Xian looked at the other party with a smile that didn't look like a smile. He didn't see the other party as an opponent at all. That was because the other party wasn't qualified at all. He said calmly, "Some things could be hidden for a while but not forever. You don't understand this theory but I can teach you." After saying that, Lin Xian turned around and left. Young Master Xiao Yao's face turned green. Damn it, the other party's tone didn't sound like someone of the same generation conversing. It was as if his elder was educating him. What right did the other party have to look down on him? He was furious. Next, Lin Xian continued to comprehend the phantom melody. Moreover, he decided to go out and test it out personally. He left Xiao Mansion, left Shanghai City, and came to the 100,000 Mountains again. Previously, he only had 1 day so he stayed outside the 100,000 Mountains. This time he was about to enter deeper. The aura inside was very dangerous. There were too many beast saints outside. Lin Xian could feel a terrifying aura permeating the air. Buzz buzz buzz. Feeling that the distance was about right, Lin Xian stopped and looked around. Suddenly, the tree under his feet stood up abruptly. The branches of the tree turned into chains and swept toward him. Lin Xian let out a cold snort and slammed the chains away with his palm. He looked down from the sky and frowned. The tree he was originally on had turned into a giant. Not only him but the entire forest shook and turned into tree giants. These were all monsters and it was a group of monsters. There were too many of them and the leader was at the Saint King stage. In addition, there were more than a dozen early-stage Saint Kings and countless Saint Venerables. These tree giants roared together, and a terrifying power swept in all directions. Lin Xian also frowned. As expected of monsters, they lived here and could attack at any time. If an ordinary Saint King came here, he would definitely die. Even a Saint King stage expert would have a hard time surviving in this place. Unfortunately, Lin Xian's strength was not something these monsters could imagine. Buzz. A tree giant rushed over. It was a peach tree, and its branches were drawn into peachwood swords. It kept flashing with a biting cold aura. The sword shadow passed through and Lin Xian was surprised. Saint Kings of the same level were probably not a match for it. Boom. Flames burst out from his body, and the 9 young divine fire quickly rushed out. These were all monsters of the wood element, and they were very afraid of fire. Sure enough, as soon as the flames appeared, thousands of tree giants quickly retreated and defended. The tree giant roared to the sky, and with a wave of its hand, an endless storm swept in all directions. It resisted. The 9-yang divine fire pierced through everything and directly enveloped it. The tree giant roared and half of its body was ignited. Its body cracked open and it quickly retreated. The other monsters also retreated. This human was too strong and he was much stronger than they thought. Although they outnumbered him by 1,000 times, they could not defeat him at all. The flames were fatal to them. These tree giants quickly fled. "Wanna run?" Lin Xian sneered and flew up. He used the Phantom Sound Song. The Phantom Sound Song required a powerful saint tool, such as Xiao Yunshu's Jade Flute, which was a powerful saint tool. Lin Xian did not have such a saint tool and he did not need it. He directly let out a dragon roar. Chapter 4568. Thousands of tree giants were affected. They roared and swept in all directions. The ground cracked as if it was the end of the world. At this moment, the leader that had been ignited by the divine fire charged over again. It was an old locust tree. At this moment, its broken body had already healed. Wood-type trees had very strong vitality. A long spear appeared in his hand and he charged over. The spear pierced through everlasting wind and cloud. The spear shot out like a dragon. This tree giant was extremely powerful. The attack landed on Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian's divine body swayed, and the surrounding void collapsed. In the next moment he turned his head and looked at the tree demon. The tree demon was terrified. How was this possible? His full-powered attack didn't break through the other party's physique. What kind of defense was that? He was so scared that he turned around and fled. The surrounding tree demons fled even faster. Lin Xian waved his hand and covered the sky and earth, enveloping the tree demon. In the next moment, the golden light in his eyes spun and formed a special pattern. The tree demon's soul was attacked and he roared crazily. He let out a roar. Damn it. He wanted to resist, but how could he be a match for the heavenly secret divine eyes? Soon he was controlled. The spear in his hand disappeared and he knelt on one knee. "Greetings, Lord." "Very good." Lin Xian smiled and said, "Control the other beasts." He gave the order. The locust tree demon walked out and roared. The surrounding 1,000-eyed beasts all stopped. Had their leader already submitted to him? These tree giants didn't escape but stopped. Lin Xian looked at the locust tree giant and asked if there were any other powerful beasts around. The locust tree giant pointed into the distance and said, "There was something even more terrifying there. The ice fire swan." In front of them was a land of ice and fire. Half of it was ice and the other half was fire. There was a powerful beast called the ice fire swan. One side of its wings was fire and the other side was ice. The entire territory was formed by it. At this moment, it spread its wings and flew. Monstrous flames and storms swept out, attacking the humans in front of it. In front of it was a woman in white. She looked like a fairy of the 9 heavens. There was also a beast beside her that let out a roar. Both sides were resisting. The woman had a jade flute in her hand. A terrifying heavenly melody flew out from the jade flute. The 3 mutated beasts raised their heads and roared. Their terrifying auras swept out in all directions, clashing with the ice and fire. The ice fire swan let out a long cry, causing the weather to change. Endless ice appeared in front of him, covering heaven and earth. Those hailstones were like mountains falling from the sky, piercing through heaven and earth. The terrifying flames turned into divine swords that swept across the area. As the 3 exotic beasts retreated, the white-clothed lady's expression became extremely grave. She did not expect the ice fire swan to be so powerful. Previously, she had received news of this place and was prepared to come over. Originally she was well prepared, but now it seemed that she had miscalculated. The ice fire swan must have made a breakthrough not long ago. His strength was stronger than he had imagined. It seemed that he had to go back and make preparations. The white-clothed woman wanted to leave, but the ice and fire that filled the sky condensed into a barrier cage. The ice fire swan sneered. "Since you're here, don't leave." Although it didn't recognize the woman in white, it knew that she was from the Beast Tamer clan from the Song of Hallucination. He had once suppressed many of his subordinates, so how could he possibly let him go? The laws of ice and fire gathered and swept out in all directions. Xiao Xiu's expression was grave. She felt a huge impact and her face turned pale. At this moment, an exotic beast beside her was frozen by the ice, and then burned to ashes by the flames. Not good. Xiao Xiu quickly retreated, and the Song of Hallucination was performed to the extreme. While controlling the remaining 2 exotic beasts to resist at the same time, the terrifying heavenly sound also charged towards the ice-fire swan, trying to interfere with the other party's soul. The ice-fire swan snorted coldly. A metal fragment flew out from his body. That metal fragment was covered with cracks, and one could vaguely see that it was a fragment of a mirror. At this moment it was protecting its soul. All the sound was blocked by this metal fragment. Damn it, it was a sacred weapon for soul defense. Xiao Xiu's face turned pale. The other party even had such a thing. This was something that I found with great difficulty, for you beast tamers from hell. So today you can die. The ice-fire swan's huge body rushed over. Its pair of sharp claws were like dragons of ice and fire, shattering everything. Xiao Xiu quickly retreated. The two exotic beasts in front of her were hit, and their bodies split open, turning into a bloody mist. Not good. At this moment of crisis, Xiao Xiu once again activated the Song of Hallucination. Endless vines spread around her body, forming armor and shields to resist. After this attack she was sent flying, crashing into several mountains. The vines around her also split open, turned into ashes and fell. Many cracks appeared on her body, but at least she was still alive. She was still alive. As expected of a beast tamer family, there were many beasts around her. But no matter how many there are, you won't be able to walk out today. The ice-fire swan spread its wings and once again condensed the laws of heaven and earth. This attack was definitely going to kill this human in front of it. Xiao Xiu's eyes were filled with despair. The purple vine had already been shattered. This was an extremely strong defensive beast, and it was her trump card. Now that she couldn't even defend against it, she probably had nothing to defend against. No matter how many beasts she took out, she wouldn't be able to block this ice-fire swan. Because this ice-fire swan was a late-stage Saint King. Go to hell. The laws of ice and fire flew over. At this moment of crisis, a golden figure descended from the sky and punched into the void. It was like thousands of suns blooming with light, blocking the laws of ice and fire. At the same time, a sword flew out, broke the barrier and quickly left with Xiao Xiu. You want to leave? The ice-fire swan roared. How could it allow the other party to escape? It spread its wings and quickly chased after her. Xiao Xiu was stunned. Was she saved by someone? Who was it? She looked to the side. It was a figure covered in golden flames, like a sun god of war. It was this person who saved her. Xiao Xiu couldn't believe it. How strong was this physique? This person was none other than Lin Xian. Lin Xian learned from the locust tree giant that there was an even more terrifying beast ahead. He was ready to go. When he arrived, he saw a huge ice and fire barrier sweeping across the area. An ice-fire swan was attacking a human woman. Lin Xian could sense that the human woman was using the hallucinatory melody, which meant that the other party was from the Xiao clan. So Lin Xian made a move and saved the other party. He didn't expect that the ice-fire swan didn't retreat but continued to chase after them. Xiao Xiu said, "The beast behind us is very strong. We have to hurry up. When we reach Shanghai City we'll be safe." As soon as she finished speaking, she felt the ice-fire swan behind them suddenly increase its speed and gather energy. Its speed doubled and it reached them in an instant. Chapter 4569. Not good. Xiao Xiu's face was pale but Lin Xian said, "You retreat first." After saying that, he looked up at the sky and condensed his palms. He used the Tai Chi diagram to attack the sky. The huge yin and yang aura kept spinning. It collided with the opponent's ice and fire claws. 4 laws instantly erupted. The surrounding world kept shattering. After one attack, Lin Xian retreated with a cold expression. The ice and fire swan in the sky was also blocked. Despicable human. He stared at Lin Xian. He couldn't believe that this kid, who was only at the early stage of the Saint King realm, could fight against him. The laws of yin and yang, who are you? He could feel that Lin Xian was not from the beast-taming clan. Xiao Xiu was also stunned. This young man was so powerful. Great, they were saved. Lin Xian looked at the other party and said coldly, "You can't keep the two of us here today. Do you still want to continue fighting? And human, you dare to question my strength?" The ice and fire swan was furious. Lin Xian sneered, "You can try." A lot of sword energy emerged from his body, and a sword shadow appeared in his hand. The biting cold aura could destroy the 9 heavens. The ice and fire swan felt his hair stand on end. It was a fatal crisis. He couldn't believe it. This human could threaten him. You are lucky. He spread his wings and flew away, escaping from here. They were saved. Xiao Xiu heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian put away the sword energy that filled the sky, turned around and asked, "Are you okay?" Xiao Xiu shook her head. She was injured, but it wasn't fatal. She swallowed the pill and asked, "Thank you for saving me. How should I address you?" "And how should I address you?" Lin Xian asked with a smile. "My name is Xiao Xiu, a disciple of the Xiao clan. I will definitely repay you for saving my life this time. Please follow me back to the Xiao clan. I will definitely treat you with respect." Lin Xian was surprised. "You are Xiao Xiu." He was really surprised. He wanted to find Xiao Xiu before, but he was told that she was in seclusion and didn't want to stay. So he could only stay with Xiao Yunshu for the time being. However, he did not expect to meet Xiao Xiu on this hunting trip. It was really fate. "You know me?" Xiao Xiu was stunned, and a trace of doubt appeared on her face. Because she didn't know Lin Xian at all. Lin Xian smiled. He had just joined the Xiao clan recently and had become a sect. Naturally, he had heard of your name. "Alright, let's go." The two of them rose into the air and returned together. After entering the Xiao mansion, Xiao Xiu left, but she remembered the name Lin Xian deeply. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was preparing to return to the mountain peak to continue comprehending and cultivating. The hunt this time had given him some insights. The Tianji divine eyes were very powerful and could control demonic beasts in the middle stage of the Saint King realm. He had just started cultivating the melody of phantasmal sound, but he had already discovered its magical effects. Currently, the heavenly secret god eyes was very effective in controlling a single demonic beast. As for the hallucinatory sound song, it was suitable for group attacks. Facing thousands of demonic beasts, Lin Xian's phantom melody was much more powerful. Of course, he could only use illusions to affect the souls of these demonic beasts. He couldn't control them instantly. Controlling thousands of Saint King realm demonic beasts in an instant was probably something that only a few people in Shanghai City could do. On the other side, Xiao Yunshu's face was cold. She had gone out again during this period of time to search for that demonic beast. However, she still couldn't find it. She was very unhappy and wanted to find someone to vent her anger. The first thing she thought of was Lin Xian. She wanted to torture Lin Xian. However, she couldn't find him. She called Xiao Yao over and asked him. After asking the guards of the Xiao clan, she found out that this guy had gone out by himself. "Damn it, as my disciple, he didn't even inform me when he went out." Xiao Yunshu gritted her teeth. "When he comes back, I will definitely teach him a lesson." Xiao Yao was also gritting his teeth. If he could use this opportunity to chase this guy out of the Xiao clan, it would definitely be a good thing. Therefore, he ordered the other sects to keep a close eye on that guy and inform him immediately when he returned. Finally, they saw Lin Xian return and immediately reported to Xiao Yao. Xiao Yao told Xiao Yunshu. Xiao Yunshu sneered. She was holding a staff in her hand. "Let's see how I will deal with him today." She sat on the jade white lion and quickly flew over. When she arrived near the mountain peak, she stared at Lin Xian. "Kid, you have some guts. Since you dared to sneak out, let's see how I will punish you today." As she spoke, she waved her hand and the staff fell. Boom. Several mountain peaks were instantly turned into rubble. Lin Xian frowned and grabbed the staff. His face sank. "You dare to attack me?" Xiao Yunshu was furious. "A mere sect dares to teach me a lesson? Now you are obediently accepting your punishment." Boom. Lin Xian directly grabbed the staff and broke it in half. He threw it on the ground and sneered. "You should know that I only came here to continue living in the Xiao clan. I won't listen to your orders." Xiao Yunshu was so angry that she was about to cry. The other party had actually broken her magic staff. It was a gift from her grandfather for her birthday. She used it very skillfully. At the same time, she was shocked. She knew the power of this staff. A sage king could not destroy it. However, the other party did it easily. What kind of power was this? Therefore, she was shocked and angry. She was so scared that she did not dare to attack, but she was also mad. "Men, take him down." Xiao Yunshu roared. Young Master Xiao Yao took the opportunity to lead the other sects over. More than 10 sects surrounded Lin Xian. At the same time, many strange beasts flew out, ready to attack. The situation could be said to be extremely dangerous. When the surrounding people saw this scene, they also watched from afar. Exclamations sounded. Someone actually dared to provoke Fairy Xiao Yunshu. He was unlucky. That was for sure. Xiao Yunshu was the apple of everyone's eye. Who dared to provoke her? Xiao Yunshu's status and talent were top-notch. Coupled with the princess's temper, it could be said that no one in the Xiao clan dared to provoke her. Should they attack? Lin Xian snorted. These people together were not enough. Previously, he kept a low profile because he wanted to stay in the Xiao clan. Now that he had met Xiao Xiu, he had other opportunities. Therefore he did not want to stay in the Shao clan. Thinking of this, his face darkened. He stomped his foot and more than 10 mountains below shattered. The flames on Lin Xian's body became more and more fierce. He was about to attack. At this time a voice came from afar. "Stop. Who dares to stop me?" Xiao Yunshu snorted. At the same time she said, "Xiaoyao attack." Xiaoyao received the order and quickly attacked. The surrounding sects and beasts also attacked. Their power covered the sky and earth and they attacked. At this time, countless purple flowers appeared in the sky. This was violet orchid blooming all over the 9 heavens, blocking everything, sealing everything. Xiaoyao and the beasts were all surrounded by violets. Xiao Yunshu was stunned. Violets, could it be? It was Sister Shiyu. Chapter 45-70. Sister Shiyu, you're out. Xiao Yunshu happily walked over. The person who came was Xiao Shiyu. After she came back, she immediately sent people to inquire about Lin Xian's situation. Soon she found out and prepared to come over. When she came near, she saw a sky full of demonic beasts attacking. She knew that Lin Xian was in danger, so she immediately used the violet flower to seal everything. Sister Shiyu, don't bother. This guy is too arrogant. I have to teach him a lesson. Xiao Yunshu gritted her teeth. Xiao Shiyu shook her head. Little Sister Yunshu, give me some face and stop. This young Master Lin is my benefactor. Benefactor? Xiao Yunshu was stunned. Young Master Xiao Yao and the others were also stunned. What's going on? Xiao Shiyu waved her hand and the violet flower disappeared, allowing everyone to move again. She then walked forward and said, Young Master Lin, I'm sorry. Did I hurt you? No. Lin Xian shook his head. Even if Xiao Shiyu didn't attack, these people couldn't hurt him. Heavens, what's going on? The people from the surrounding sects were all stunned. Wasn't the legendary Xiao Shiyu an ice beauty? She didn't care about anyone. Why was she so friendly to Lin Xian? Even Xiao Yunshu and Yi were stunned. Was she dreaming? Sister Shiyu, you weren't tricked by this guy, were you? Xiao Yunshu didn't believe it. Xiao Shiyu said, alright, stop fooling around. Is there some misunderstanding between you and young Master Lin? I'm lacking a helper. Why don't you give him to me? As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people were even more stunned. Their eyes instantly turned red. Xiao Yunshu was also a pearl, but compared to Xiao Shiyu she was still a little lacking. Xiao Shiyu's identity was a true goddess, an existence that countless people looked up to. However, Xiao Shiyu didn't want to join the sect, so they couldn't do anything. They didn't expect that she would personally ask for help today. Xiao Yunshu gritted her teeth and glared at Lin Xian. Where did this guy get such good luck? However, since Xiao Shiyu had spoken, she couldn't say anything. She could only remind her sister Shiyu that she had to be careful of what this guy was trying to say to deceive her. If he dares to have any bad thoughts, tell me and I will personally suppress him. Alright, I got it. Xiao Shiyu smiled and looked at Lin Xian. Young Master Lin, please. Under the envious gazes of the crowd, Lin Xian and Xiao Shiyu left. Then they went to Xiao Shiyu's residence. Xiao Shiyu's mansion was even more magnificent. Xiao Transport's mansion was even more magnificent. He could be said to be the #1 genius of the Xiao clan. After entering her mansion, Lin Xian discovered that there were demon beasts everywhere. A roar came from the front, shaking heaven and earth. There was also the sound of chains. Xiao Shiyu frowned. She quickly rushed over. Lin Xian looked over as well. After flying past the pavilions, he arrived at the back of the mountain. Only then did he realize that there was a demonic beast sealed within a formation and enchantment. It was a demonic ape. It was very tall and black flames were burning on its body. Its arms were dancing and the sky was falling. Fortunately, he had the chains of law and the enchantment. Otherwise he would have escaped long ago. The demonic beast's cultivation was at the Saint King stage, and it was extremely violent. When Xiao Shiyu arrived, her face changed. Not good, this guy went crazy again. She quickly took out her jade flute and used the phantom shadow. The terrifying sound of heaven flew forward and controlled it. The black fire demonic ape roared at the sky, letting out an extremely unwilling roar as it fought back. Xiao Shiyu used the phantom sound song while activating the enchantment. Finally, Xiao Shiyu suppressed the demonic ape again. She heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian's eyes flickered as he watched from behind. The black fire demonic ape was very powerful. It seemed that it was only suppressed temporarily and had not been tamed yet. Young Master Lin, I have caught this guy for a long time. However, it would be difficult to tame him. This way, please. She brought Lin Xian to a palace nearby. Lin Xian smiled. Since you've invited me over, I'll be your assistant. Your injuries haven't healed yet, right? Why don't you recuperate? After you recuperate, I will help you tame this guy. Young Master Lin, I know you are powerful and can fight against the Ice Fire Swan. However, suppressing a demonic beast and controlling it were two different things. Indeed, suppressing it was easy, but taming it was too difficult. It was 10 times more difficult. Lin Xian smiled. Don't worry, other than my physique being stronger, I also know eye techniques. Maybe I can help you. Really? Xiao Xiu was overjoyed. That's great. Just like that, she began to go into seclusion. Half a month later, she came out of seclusion. Her injuries had already healed. Lin Xian also went to observe the Blackfire demonic ape every day. He found some flaws in the Blackfire demonic ape. Then he had a plan in his heart. When Xiao Xiu arrived, he told her about his plan and told her about it. This Blackfire demonic ape is extremely violent and arrogant. It will definitely not be convinced if it is suppressed. We can magnify its state infinitely. Let it go completely crazy. When it goes crazy to the extreme, its aura will definitely drop. That will be the time for you to strike. After Lin Xian finished speaking, Xiao Xiu also nodded. Of course she knew that. However, she couldn't have done it alone. Fortunately, Lin Xian had told her to leave the front to him and take charge of the rear. Although Xiao Xiu knew that Lin Xian was powerful, she was still worried. After all, she was the real beast-taming genius and the #1 genius in the family. If she couldn't do it, could he do it? The two of them came to the back mountain again. The Blackfire demonic ape raised its huge head. When it saw Xiao Xiu coming again, a cold look appeared in its eyes. The next moment, it stood up again and roared at the sky. Lin Xian took a deep breath and said, "It has begun." Xiao Xiu nodded and retreated, ready to wait. Lin Xian, on the other hand, walked away. Seeing that it wasn't Xiao Xiu but another unfamiliar human walking over, the Blackfire demonic ape snorted and spat out flames. The terrifying flames shrouded Lin Xian. A cold smile appeared in his eyes. Such an ant could be killed by a flame. But soon it was stunned. It realized that Lin Xian had walked out of the flames. Not only that, Lin Xian walked into the formation. He threw a punch at it. With a crack, one of its arms was broken. Brr. The Blackfire demonic ape was completely enraged and went crazy. An ant, a human, dared to hurt it. It couldn't stand it. It roared at the sky and the sound swept in all directions. The whole world was shaking. The people in the Shao clan were terrified. What happened? Even the elder's eyes lit up and looked into the distance. It was Xiao Xiu's residence. It seemed that she was still subduing the demonic ape. Chapter 4571. The Blackfire demonic ape was extremely violent. With her current strength, it was still too much for her. The elders shook their heads slightly. Although the sound was terrifying, they were not worried. With their Shao manners array formation and chains, these beasts could not escape. However, this failure might be a blow to Xiao Xiu. Xiao Xiu, who was at the front, was also stunned. She knew that Lin Xian was very strong, but she did not expect Lin Xian to be so bold as to walk into the array formation. He even injured the Blackfire demonic ape. The Blackfire demonic ape's demonic aura was overwhelming. Its gaze was like a divine lamp, as if it was going to swallow the world. It was like a demon god. However, Lin Xian was not afraid in front of such a huge monster. In fact, there was an extremely cold radiance in his eyes. Heavenly secret divine eyes. He did not control it. Instead, he used an illusion to magnify the other party's violence. The Blackfire demonic ape seemed to have fallen into a frenzy. It roared towards the sky and attacked continuously. But Lin Xian stood there, unmoved from beginning to end. This situation lasted for a month. After a month, the Blackfire demonic ape's aura weakened. Lin Xian stepped back and said, "That's enough." Behind him, Xiao Xiu had been waiting for a long time. She used the phantom song to control it. The musical notes jumped out and entered the other party's soul. The Blackfire demonic ape resisted frantically. However, a month of roaring and attacking had already depleted its energy. It was no match for the soul attack at this moment. 5 days later, it was lying on the ground. Was controlled. Seeing the Blackfire demonic ape that had surrendered, Xiao Xiu could not believe it. She had brought the Blackfire demonic ape back 3 years ago. For the past 3 years, she had come every month to control it and try to subdue it. However, she failed every time. This made her feel hopeless. She was afraid that without a breakthrough in her strength and soul, it would be impossible to subdue it. However, she did not expect that 3 years later, with the help of Lin Xian, she would finally succeed. That's great. Young Master Lin, thank you so much. Lin Xian smiled. I only helped a little. The real control is still your work. It's all thanks to the two of us. Xiao Xiu smiled beautifully. Greetings, master. The black fire demonic ape's voice rang out like thunder. When the people of the Xiao clan heard this, they were all stunned. Oh my heavens, a demonic beast had been subdued and it was a black fire demonic ape. It couldn't be, right? Wasn't that brought back by Xiao Xiu 3 years ago? It was extremely terrifying and violent. Perhaps even the elders might not be able to subdue it. This Xiao Xiu actually succeeded. Countless cries of alarm sounded. The young disciples were shaken, not daring to believe this. Xiao Yunshu was also surprised when she heard the news. Sister Xiu has already become so powerful? Although they were both pearls, it was obvious that she was far behind. The elders of the Xiao clan were even more shocked. They soared into the sky and flew towards the back of the mountain. Drizzle, did you really succeed? When the elders saw the scene below, they were pleasantly surprised. Xiao Xiu raised her head and looked over. She then greeted, Greetings, elders. He had indeed succeeded. Hearing this, the elders raised their heads and laughed. Good, this is really too good. Our Xiao clan's #1 genius is indeed unparalleled. These people were very happy. At this moment, a middle-aged man walked over. He had a tiger's gait and a dragon's aura. He nodded slightly. Indeed not bad. With your current cultivation, you were able to subdue the black fire demonic ape. This is really out of my expectations. It seems like you are not far from becoming a two-spirit beast tamer Saint Master. Thank you for your praise, uncle. This time I was just lucky. Xiao Xiu said calmly. The middle-aged man said, No, you are the #1 genius of the Xiao clan. You do have a chance to become a two-spirit beast tamer Saint Master. Beast tamers were also divided into many levels. Xiao Xiu was a one-spirit beast tamer Saint Master. Although it was only one spirit, her status was already extremely terrifying. One must know that she was a Saint Master. She was only from the younger generation, and there were very few in the younger generation who could obtain this status. Even Xiao Yunshu did not have this qualification. Hence, Xiao Xiu was undoubtedly the #1 genius of the Xiao clan. At this moment, the middle-aged man said. Although that was the case. However, there were many experts and geniuses in Shanghai City. For example, Qing Qin from the Qing clan. He was the #1 genius of the Qing clan. Currently, he was already a two-spirit beast tamer Saint Master. It was not easy to defeat him. If you can walk together with him, you will have an incomparable advantage in the upcoming Shanghai beast fighting competition. You have to think about it carefully. Hearing these words, Xiao Xiu's face immediately sank. The joy that she had obtained was gone. She said coldly. The Shanghai beast fighting competition was carried out by the clan. I am not from the same clan as him. Do you want me to be his disciple? Or do you want him to be my disciple? The middle-aged man laughed. Xiao Xiu, you have to be more open-minded. Apart from being his disciple, are there no other possibilities? If you can marry him, then you will be a member of the Qing clan. At that time, the two of you can naturally fight together. I have said this before. Don't mention it anymore. Don't you remember? Xiao Xiu suddenly raised her head and shouted coldly. You are too young and do not know. I am doing this for your own good. This Qing Qin is the #1 genius of the Qing clan. He is also the son of the head of the Qing clan. In the future, he will be able to control the entire Qing clan. He is the most dazzling genius of Shanghai City. Countless girls from the big clans want to marry him. If you can marry him, then it will be your honor. Now that you have a chance, how can you not cherish it? Xiao Xiu laughed coldly. Oh, such an honor. Uncle is willing to give it to me? Uncle, you have a daughter too, right? Why don't you let your daughter accept this supreme honor? The middle-aged man's face sank. Xiao Xiu, is this the attitude you should have when speaking to your elders? Xiao Xiu said, Are you treating me as your junior? Is there anyone who would push a junior into a fire pit? Although Qing Qin is talented, don't you know what kind of person he is? How many heavenly beauties had been harmed by him? You actually want me to marry such a person? If you are not trying to kill me, what are you trying to do? You don't even treat me as a junior of the Xiao clan. Why should I treat you as my senior? If you want to work together with the Qing clan, then marry your daughter over. Don't have any ideas about me? A cold voice sounded, infuriating the middle-aged man. His face turned cold and the people around him looked awkward. Lin Xian squinted his eyes. He did not expect Xiao Xiu to have such a problem. It seemed like the Xiao clan and the Qing clan were going to work together. However, one person had to marry, and this person was Xiao Xiu. Chapter 4572. Alright, all of you shut up. It's not appropriate to make a ruckus here. An old voice could be heard. A white crane descended from the sky with an old man on its back. The old man sat cross-legged. His eyes shone with a powerful soul. This person was terrifying. Lin Xian was shocked. The people around also exclaimed, "Greetings, Third Elder." Xiao Xiu also said, "Third Elder, it's not that I don't want to follow the rules, but some people are too much." The Third Elder sighed. The Green Clan's power in Shanghai City has always been stronger than the Shao Clan. Don't forget. They are working with the Thousand Transformations Gate. For the past 1,000 years, they have been providing beasts to the Thousand Transformations Gate. The relationship between the two is extraordinary. Now that they have made such a request, we can only agree. If we resist, they might anger the Green Clan. If they want to take action, the Shao Clan will not be able to resist. Xiao Xiu said coldly, "So you chose me? Have you asked for my opinion?" The Third Elder sighed. He said, "As a member of the Shao Clan, you have to think for the clan sometimes. However, we will give you a chance. If you can get into the top 10 in the Mountain Sea battles, we will not force you." "Alright, since Third Elder said so, it's a deal. Just you wait, I will get into the top 10. Xiu, you are too naive. Although you are the top genius of the Shao Clan, there are many beast tamers in the Mountain Sea battles. However, there were many beast tamers participating in the Mountain Sea beast fights. Not only were there geniuses, but there were also other experts. It is basically impossible for you to get into the top 10. Uncle, you don't have to worry about me," Xiao Xiu said coldly. "I want to see how you can get into the top 10. The middle-aged man sneered and turned to leave. The Third Elder looked at Xiao Xiu and sighed. He said, "You can bring helpers for the Mountain Sea battles. What kind of beast tamer do you need? I will use the clan's power to help you find one. You will be satisfied." They naturally hoped that Xiao Xiu would shine in the Mountain Sea battles. That would be good for the Shao Clan. Xiao Xiu said, "I have my own way. Thank you, Third Elder, for your concern." The old man sighed again and shook his head. Then he left. Although she wanted to help Xiao Xiu, no matter how hard she tried, it would be extremely difficult for her to get into the top 10. If it was the next time, perhaps Xiao Xiu would have a chance. But this time it was too difficult. It was impossible. The Green Clan would not give Xiao Xiu another chance. The elders had all left and the back mountain was quiet again. Xiao Xiu's face was cold, and she was clenching her teeth so hard that they were about to shatter. Detestable, this was really too detestable. Were these people suppressing her like this? First, they suppressed her mother and now they're suppressing her. However, she was unwilling to give up. She had to get into the top 10. That way the Mountain Sea Palace would take a liking to her. At that time she could join the Mountain Sea Palace. Even the Shao Clan and the Green Clan didn't dare to order him around. At this moment Lin Xian walked up and said, "Don't worry, I'll help you enter the top 10. "Thank you." Xiao Xiu was extremely grateful. "You don't have to thank me." Lin Xian shook his head. Then he said in his heart, "If you want to thank someone, thank your father. Young Master Lin, I'm very grateful to you. However, it's too difficult to get into the top 10. Even I don't have much confidence." Lin Xian said, "How would you know if you don't try? Fate is in your own hands and it doesn't belong to anyone else." Xiao Xiu's body trembled. To be honest, she didn't have much confidence. However, looking at Lin Xian's confident gaze, she felt her soul tremble. What kind of strength and confidence was this? What had this young man experienced in the past? Taking a deep breath, Xiao Xiu also said, "All right, whether I succeed or not, I'll do my best. I won't let myself regret it." "That's right, this is the #1 genius of the Shao Clan." Lin Xian smiled. Then he asked, "Oh right, what's the Green Clan? Is the Thousand Transformation sect powerful?" There are many big clans in Shanghai City, and they are considered the top clans. Their strength and foundation are much stronger than the Shao Clan. As for the Thousand Transformations sect, it's not in Shanghai City. It's a sect nearby and its strength is terrifying. For the past 1,000 years, all the beasts in the Thousand Transformations sect were taken care of by the Green Clan. Hence, the Green Clan has a special position in Shanghai City. Not only the Green Clan but the other clans and sects also had connections. For example, the Shao Clan was in charge of managing the beasts for a sect. After knowing the situation, Lin Xian nodded. He said, "Don't worry, I'll help you to the best of my ability." Next, the two of them started to train together. Xiao Xiu had already decided to let Lin Xian be her helper. They would participate in the Mountain Sea Beast battles together. A month later, Xiao Xiu was elated. During this month their teamwork was getting better and better. One must know that she was using the phantom sound song. Normal people would have to dodge it carefully before they could coordinate with her. But as soon as Lin Xian came up, he was able to merge perfectly with the hallucinatory melody, which surprised her. Naturally, she didn't know that Lin Xian had already cultivated the phantom sound song in advance, which was why he could do it so easily. On this day, Xiao Xiu found Lin Xian and told him her thoughts. She was going to go out and suppress another beast and bring it back to control it. Of course, her target should be similar to the black fire demon ape. It might even be stronger. After all, he also wanted to break through to become a two-spirit beast tamer Saint Master. This way he would have a greater chance. Lin Xian nodded and asked, "Are we still going to the 100,000 mountains?" Xiao Xiu said, "No, I've already been targeted by the ice fire swan. The moment I enter, he will be able to sense our aura. So this time we're going to the sea." Shanghai City relied not only on the 100,000 mountains but also on the endless sea. There were even more beasts in the sea. This time it was their destination. Lin Xian and Xiao Xiu left the mansion and prepared to set off. When they came outside they saw two figures. It was Xiao Yunshu and Mr. Xiao Yao. At this moment Mr. Xiao Yao was following beside Xiao Yunshu. He was very proud. It seemed like he had also become Xiao Yunshu's assistant. Sister Xiu Xiao Yunshu saw Xiao Xiu and ran over happily. However, when she saw Lin Xian she was surprised. "Why are you still here?" In her opinion, this guy wasn't too strong and definitely wouldn't be valued. She didn't expect him to be able to stay by Xiao Xiu's side. Naturally, young Mr. Xiao Yao caught sight of this as well. Instantly, his heart was going crazy. Xiao Xiu was an existence that even he looked up to. He didn't even dare to think about it. He didn't expect this despicable kid to stay by her side. Sister Yunshu Xiao Xiu also walked up. Lin Xian glanced at him and directly ignored him. Chapter 4573. Mr. Xiao Yao gritted his teeth in anger. He did not expect Mr. Lin to have such means. He laughed coldly. Lin Xian laughed. "I have means? I think your means should be greater than mine. Aren't you quite good at grafting flowers onto trees?" Mr. Xiao Yao's pupils shrank as cold sweat dripped down his forehead. It seemed like Lin Xian had found out about him secretly changing the demonic beast pouch. But why didn't Lin Xian expose him directly? What did he mean by that? Yun Shu frowned. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders and did not say anything. He believed that Mr. Xiao Yao's actions would be found out soon. Because he did not have the corresponding strength and yet he wanted to put gold on his face, he would lose badly. "Sister Xiao Yu, where are you going this time?" Xiao Yunshu ignored Lin Xian and asked. Xiao Xiu said that they were going to hunt some demonic beast. "Really? I have the same idea too. Why don't we go together?" Xiao Yunshu was delighted. "If the two of us work together we will definitely gain a lot." "Sure." Xiao Xiu nodded her head. Her relationship with Yunshu was pretty good. Hence it was not a problem for them to work together. The two of them walked in front while Lin Xian and Mr. Xiao Yao followed behind. Young Mr. Xiao Yao was extremely nervous right now. He was extremely worried right now. He did not know when Lin Xian would reveal everything that he had done. Lin Xian did not mind at all. He had never treated Xiao Yao as an opponent. This time he was looking forward to it. He was prepared to control some demonic beast. After all, he would have to return to Ethereal Peak in the future. At that time he would have to rely on these demonic beasts to deal with those Grotto Heavens and Ethereal Peak. Walking out of Shao Clan they arrived at Shanghai City. The group walked towards the city gate. At this moment, a figure descended from the sky. A terrifying soul pressure shrouded the group. Xiao Yunshu and the rest stopped and frowned. Mr. Xiao Yao looked like he was facing a great enemy. Lin Xian squinted his eyes. What a strong soul power. It seemed like he was an expert. He raised his head and looked ahead. He realized that it was a blurry figure. The aura he gave off swept across the land. Where did this expert come from? People of the Green Clan. Xiao Yunshu frowned. She noticed that the Taoist's eyes were incomparably mysterious, like two sharp blades. This was the Eye of Blade of the Green Clan. Moreover, there was probably only one person in the younger generation who could cultivate to such a level. Qingchen thinking of this, she coldly snorted, and the soul in her body was like a vast ocean, sweeping through the 9 heavens. Xiao Xiu, who was at the side, frowned. "Why are you stopping us?" The blurry figure at the front glanced at the group with a lightning-like gaze. His gaze then landed on Xiao Xiu. She was indeed worthy of being called the beloved daughter of the heavens. She was indeed a peerless fairy. I'm here to inform you that after the Mountain Sea Beast trials, I will marry you. During this time you'd better stay in the clan obediently and don't go anywhere. These words carried the meaning of an order. Xiao Xiu's expression changed as she snorted coldly. Who do you think you are? How dare you order me around? Besides, do you really think this engagement can continue? I know that the Xiao clan has promised you something. As long as you can get into the top 10 you can resist. But unfortunately with your strength, it's impossible for you to get into the top 10. Therefore, I advise you not to put up any unnecessary resistance. Qingqian's voice was filled with confidence. To be able to follow me is an unparalleled honor for you. After speaking, he looked at Lin Xian and young Mr. Xiao Yao and said coldly, from today onwards, you are not allowed to have any other men around you. Even if they are battle servants, you are not allowed to have any other men around you. Change them all. After speaking, two extremely sharp beams of light shot out from his eyes, turning into two blades that slashed out. Young Mr. Xiao Yao could feel that his soul was about to be sliced into two. This was the legendary Eye of Blade. That was way too scary. He retreated quickly, dodging the attack by a hair's breadth. Lin Xian did not dodge at all. His eyes were filled with a cold glint. At this moment Xiao Xiu struck. She waved her hands and the sky was filled with purple violets that formed a sealing barrier, sealing the blades in the sky. He then said, don't you think that you are too arrogant? I am arrogant because I have the right to be arrogant. This is a warning. The next time I see other men around you, I will send them to hell. If you see any other men around you, I will send them to hell immediately. After speaking, he turned around and disappeared. The atmosphere turned silent for a moment. Xiao Xiu's face turned extremely solemn. She had to admit that this Qingqian was really strong. His eye technique was unparalleled. Wherever his gaze passed, it could split apart everything. Xiao Yunshu, who was beside him, gritted her teeth. This guy was too despicable. How could the family agree to such an engagement? Don't worry. No matter how the family agrees, I will not agree to it. Xiao Xiu gritted her teeth. She then said, let's go quickly. This time around we must get more beasts. After saying that, she flew forward. Young Mr. Xiao Yao sent a voice transmission to her. Fairy Yunshu, should I continue to follow? He was really scared now. He did not know Xiao Xiu. This was just a chance encounter. So he wanted to kill her. He did not dare to follow her anymore. Xiao Yunshu frowned. Why was this guy so afraid of death? He was even worse than this despicable kid beside her. She glanced at Lin Xian. Seeing that Lin Xian was calm, she followed. Xiao Yunshu gritted her teeth. If you are afraid of death, then leave. From now on, you don't have to be my assistant anymore. After speaking, Xiao Yunshu also flew into the air. Young Mr. Xiao Yao was stunned. However, he gritted his teeth and followed. This time he would go. However, from now on he would definitely avoid Xiao Xiu whenever he saw her. This kind of genius was not someone he could get close to. At the same time he sneered. Lin Xian was definitely in danger. Lin Xian would be killed one day if he stayed by Xiao Xiu's side. This way his secret would not be discovered by anyone. The group of people flew quickly in Shanghai City. Finally they left Shanghai City. Looking at the endless sea, they continued to fly. This sea was called the Black Sea. It was boundless and was even bigger than a continent. Shanghai City only relied on one part of the ocean, but the monsters and beasts within were already terrifying beyond compare. No one knew how terrifying the depths of the Black Sea were. Legend had it that the monsters in the Black Sea were emperor-level monsters. They were buried in the depths of the sea. However, the distance was too far. Not to mention them, even the great sage might not be able to fly there. When they reached the sea, Xiao Yunshu and Xiao Xiu took out two demonic beasts. Xiao Yunshu took out a mouse. It had a pair of wings and was constantly fluttering in the air. This was a spirit-seeking mouse. It could find powerful monsters. What Xiao Xiu took out was a black bug with red spots on it. This was also a spirit beast that could find monsters. Chapter 4574. Lin Xian and young Master Xiao Yao waited silently. At this moment, Lin Xian frowned and looked into the distance. He could not tell. Someone seemed to be coming. Young Master Xiao Yao was stunned. This fella must be joking. Why couldn't I sense it? Xiao Yunshu stopped in front and frowned. What is this fella up to now? However, she soon saw a figure flying over from afar. And there were quite a number of them. Bus, bus, bus. A total of 7 figures descended from the sky and landed on the sea. Their powerful aura suppressed the entire place. The leader was actually a late-stage Saint King, which made Xiao Yunshu's expression change. Xiao Shiyu frowned. If such experts were to go against them, it would be troublesome. Young Master Xiao Yao shouted coldly. We are from the Xiao clan. What are you guys doing? Leave now. He wanted to use the reputation of the Xiao clan to scare these people away. The man looked at young Master Xiao Yao and sneered. You guys are courting death. Is the Xiao clan that powerful? Then he took out the token in his hand. This is? Young Master Xiao Yao's eyes shrunk. Xiao Yunshu exclaimed. Myriad Transformation Sect. You guys are from the Myriad Transformation Sect. That's right. We are from the Myriad Transformation Sect. These 7 men are like gods and demons. Xiao Shiyu took a step forward. Terrifying souls emerged from her body. There were many violets around her, blooming non-stop. They covered the entire place. She asked coldly. I wonder why the fellow Taoists from the Myriad Transformation Sect are looking for us? We are here to help. Young Master Qing Qin said that no other men are allowed to be around Fairy Shiyu. Seems like someone is courting death. At this point, a wisp of piercingly cold killing intent appeared in their eyes. Young Master Xiao Yao's face changed and was filled with fear. Damn it. I didn't expect them to take action so quickly. His original plan was to wait until he returned this time before fleeing. But he didn't expect them to come knocking on his door. Lin Xian frowned. Isn't this young Master Qing Qin too arrogant? He even wants to get rid of us. Xiao Yunshu's face changed. Although she felt that young Master Xiao Yao was a coward, his strength and talent were not bad. Moreover, the Mountain Sea Coliseum would be arriving soon. She needed such talents. Therefore he did not wish for the other party to die. She gritted her teeth and said, This is our Xiao clan's matter. Aren't you guys meddling too much? You're wrong. An expert from the Myriad Transformation Sect laughed. Fairy Wu, you will marry young Master Qing Qin sooner or later. Young Master Qing Qin has an unusual relationship with our Myriad Transformation Sect. In fact, he will soon become a member of our Myriad Transformations Gate. Therefore, this is also a matter of us Myriad Transformations. How can we not care? A cold smile appeared in the eyes of the Saint King Advanced Stage Leader. This time, young Master Qing Qin had promised to give him a late Saint King demonic beast as his mount after the mission was completed. This was a huge benefit, so how could he refuse? Moreover, killing 2 sects was no different from killing 2 ants to him, so he naturally agreed. You can try. Xiao Shiyu snorted coldly. She took out her jade flute and performed the Song of Phantom Sound. Suddenly, 3 demonic beasts appeared around her. The paper vine on their bodies formed an armor for defense. At the same time, a giant demonic ape flew out and roared. It was the black fire demonic ape that she had just tamed. The black fire demonic ape roared as soon as it appeared. Many people's faces changed when they saw its terrifying aura. What a terrifying demonic beast. Moreover, it was at the Saint King Intermediate stage. They did not expect Xiao Shiyu to be so talented. Xiao Yunshu also summoned the Jade White Lion and other demonic beasts. They covered the sky. This was a beast tamer. They could summon a large number of demonic beasts in battle. They had an innate advantage. As expected, the people from the Myriad Transformation Sect frowned. Especially the Black Fire Demonic Ape, it was a great threat to them. The leading expert from the Myriad Transformation Sect said with a smile. Don't worry, leave these demonic beasts to me. As for you guys, go and kill these 2 people. I will bring their heads back to young Master Qing Qin. After he finished speaking, he waved his hand and the demonic beasts in front of him were all enveloped. The Black Fire Demonic Ape fought back. However, it was a late-stage Saint King. It was powerful enough to fight against these demonic beasts. The other 4 men from the Myriad Transformation Sect rushed forward and attacked Lin Xian and young Master Xiao Yao. Retreat. Young Master Xiao Yao did not say a word. He took out the blazing divine eagle and flew away. Lin Xian wanted to attack it first. However, after thinking about it, he retreated as well. It was inconvenient to show off some of his strength in front of these people. It was better to wait until there was no one around. At that time, the 4 of them would know what despair was. Lin Xian's figure flashed as he chased after Mr. Xiao Yao. Young Master Xiao Yao's face turned green. He roared crazily. Damn brat, can't you run in another direction? He was mad. If they ran separately, he would at most face 2 experts from the Myriad Transformation Sect. But now he had to face 4 of them. The pressure was multiplied. Lin Xian smiled. With a flash, he appeared on top of the blazing godly hawk and said, I'm here to help you. Young Master Xiao Yao was about to vomit blood. He could not wait to fight it out with the other party. However, he knew that now was not the time. He had to escape. Hence, he controlled the blazing divine eagle and turned into a stream of light. Do you think you can escape? Behind him there were 4 people. They were extremely strong. One of them was a Saint King in the middle stage. The other 3 were Saint Kings in the early stages. The Saint King in the middle stage roared into the sky. His voice shook the 9 heavens as he cut off the escape route. His flaming body trembled and fell from the sky. There were already many cracks on his body. This was the difference in cultivation realms. Young Master Xiao Yao gritted his teeth. He said, "Damn it, I'm innocent. Let me go. It's this brat. He's the one who stayed by Fairy Xiao Yu's side." Young Master Xiao Yao pointed at Lin Xian and roared crazily. "Oh, is that so?" The Saint King in the middle stage blocked Lin Xian. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Since this was the case, he would make him suffer a fate worse than death. "But you? How dare you disobey the orders of young Master Qing Qin? You can go to hell as well." After saying that, he waved his hand. 2 figures charged towards young Master Xiao Yao. He then looked at Lin Xian. He wanted to take action personally. "How dare you fight with young Master Qing Qin? Be a wise man in your next life." He had an aura that could swallow mountains and rivers. The huge hand stretched across the sky for thousands of miles. It covered the sky and the earth as it pressed down. The endless void tore apart. But after a single blow, the void was reduced to nothingness. Ah! The people of Myriad Transformation Sect laughed. The other party was too weak. If they wanted to kill him, they could do it with a wave of their hands. When young Master Xiao Yao saw this, his eyes turned red. Chapter 45-75. Boom. At this moment, a figure walked out of the shattered void as a cold voice boomed out. "Is this your strength? You're so weak that you can't even break my defense." What? The Saint King stage cultivator was stunned as he stared at the figure in front of him. "You're not dead yet." He was shocked. The people around him were also surprised that Yi Shiwen could dodge the attack of a Saint King stage cultivator. "Good lad, you have some strength. No wonder you dare to be so arrogant. This time you're going to die." The Saint King stage cultivator attacked Yi Shiwen again. His palm was filled with endless law that seemed to be able to disintegrate everything. Lin Xian also made a move. He clenched his fist and turned into a golden light that flew out to fight against the Saint King stage cultivator's palm. The Saint King stage cultivator's eyes widened as he felt that his palm was about to shatter. Although he had the 1000 Transformation Gate secret technique, he couldn't disintegrate Yi Shiwen's strength. Not only did his entire arm shatter, but his entire body also turned into a bloody mist. One punch and his soul was destroyed. Blood rained down from the sky. The other 3000 Transformation Gate cultivators were stunned, and their faces were full of horror. Dead. He was killed by one punch? Young Master Xiao Yao was so scared that he knelt on the ground. What kind of power is this? It's too heaven-defying. The other 3000 Transformation Gate cultivators' pupils shrank, and their faces became ugly. The 3 of them turned around and fled. This person was too terrifying, and they were no match for him even if they joined forces. Let's call a late-stage Saint King stage cultivator to suppress him. The 3000 Transformation Gate cultivators flew out at an extremely fast speed, and they instantly reached the horizon. However, in the next moment, their bodies were mercilessly torn apart. A sword light flashed, and the 3000 Transformation Gate cultivators were cut in half. Then, the soul fire floated out, and the 3000 Transformation Gate cultivators' souls were completely destroyed. In the blink of an eye, all 4000 Transformation Gate cultivators were killed. Only Lin Xian and the kneeling Mr. Xiao Yao were left. Young Master Xiao Yao's face was full of horror. This person was really too powerful. He had offended Yi Shiwen before, and he even wanted to drive Yi Shiwen out of the Xiao clan. Now he was afraid. He begged young Master Lin, "Please don't kill him." Lin Xian. She could do anything? Fine, you said it yourself. His heavenly fate divine eyes appeared in his eyes as he looked at the other party. "Then you will become my puppet." Mr. Xiao Yao's face turned ugly. His eyes shone with a sharp radiance as he tried to defend himself. He was not willing to become a puppet. However, how could he be a match for the celestial secret divine eyes? In a flash, his eye technique was broken. The pain in his soul made him howl madly. A moment later, his gaze calmed down. He knelt on one knee and looked respectfully at Lin Xian, paying his respects to his lord. There was already an imprint in his soul. Lin Xian looked at this scene and the corners of his mouth curled up as he nodded. Although he didn't like this guy, he might be useful in the future. That was why he had this fellow stay by Xiao Yunshu's side and assist her. "Let's go." Lin Xian waved his hand and brought young Mr. Xiao Yao with him as he flew forward. The battle in front was still ongoing. The black fire demon ape stood tall. As it waved its fists, the entire sea was split open. He was an opponent. A late-stage Saint King expert. Even if a few demonic beasts joined forces, they could only fight against him. They were already at a disadvantage. It was very dangerous. What should we do? Sister Xiao Xiu. Xiao Yunshu's face turned ugly. She couldn't defeat the other party. Moreover, she didn't know if the other two had escaped. Xiao Xiu was even more nervous. She didn't want anything to happen to Lin Xian. At that moment, two sounds of something breaking through the air could be heard from afar. They all turned their heads and were stunned. The people from Myriad Transformation Sect were also stunned. They realized that the two people who had escaped earlier had returned. The two of them were still alive. What was going on? They waited for a while and realized that their men had returned. The late-stage Saint King expert's face darkened. Where were our men? Your people have already fallen. Lin Xian smiled and said, how could it be? The people from Myriad Transformation Sect couldn't believe that two late-stage Saint Kings could defeat four of them. Impossible. Young Master Xiao Yao walked out and said, of course it wasn't us. I don't need to tell you how many demonic beasts there are in the sea. There was a terrifying sea demon. The four of you were unlucky to have been eaten by him. Right now, young Mr. Xiao Yao was already Lin Xian's puppet. Therefore, no matter what he said or did, he would have to listen to Lin Xian's orders. Impossible. The people from Myriad Transformation Sect were shocked. Then how did the two of you escape? Lin Xian smiled coldly and didn't say anything. When he returned, he used his heavenly secret divine eyes to look for powerful demonic beasts. He found a powerful one. Moreover, he attacked the demonic beast. The demonic beast was already chasing him. However, he was faster. Therefore, the demonic beast was behind him. Lin Xian didn't say anything. After a while, the sea in front of them suddenly split open. The endless sea surged and a terrifying aura filled the air. An octopus roared at the sky. It flew out. It was 10,000 meters high. It swept in all directions. This scene caused the people from Myriad Transformation Sect to change their expressions. Not good. A terrifying demonic beast. Moreover, in the sea, who knew how many subordinates the other party had? If they summoned tens of thousands of demonic beasts to attack, it would be troublesome. After all, the sea was the other party's territory. Damn it. Just you wait. The people from Myriad Transformation Sect roared and turned to leave. That's great. Xiao Yunshu heaved a sigh of relief. Then Xiao Xiu also said, okay, let's go. As they retreated, they used the phantasmal melody to attack. Lin Xian said, don't leave. Don't you want to hunt demonic beasts? This one will do. What? This one? Xiao Yunshu's expression changed. This octopus was even more terrifying than the black fire demonic ape. How could they suppress it? Xiao Xiu said, okay, let's try. Then she rushed forward. She was crazy. Xiao Yunshu's face was pale. With her strength, she could only use soul attacks from afar. Lin Xian rushed over and fought with it. His fist directly sent the 10,000-meter-long octopus flying. The octopus roared at the sky and summoned many demonic beasts to attack. A great battle broke out. With Lin Xian's help, the octopus was suppressed. Did they really do it? Xiao Yunshu didn't dare to believe it. Xiao Xiu was happy. This was great. After she returned this time, she could control it. If she succeeded, then she would be very close to becoming a two-soul beast tamer sacred master. Perhaps she could break through before the competition. Once she broke through to become a two-soul beast tamer sacred master, her confidence would be much higher. Xiao Xiu, Xiao Yunshu and the others were resting. Lin Xian said, I'll go to other places to take a look. You guys stay here first. With that, he took the demonic beast bag and left. Chapter 4576. Lin Xian entered the Black Sea and continued to fly. He saw many demonic beasts but he ignored them all. He was looking for something more terrifying than the Black Sea octopus. Just then he heard a roar from below. It shook the 9 heavens. Even he was shocked. There was something terrifying. His eyes lit up and he flew over. In the next moment he saw a black figure appear at the bottom of the sea. It had a terrifying aura. It was the Blackwater mystical snake. Lin Xian was shocked. It was also a mutated beast. Once fully grown, it would be terrifying. It was a famous beast in the ancient times. He didn't expect to see it here. From what he saw, it should be very young. The corners of his mouth curled up into a smile as he quickly struck out. The Blackwater mystical snake saw him too. He was only a beginner Saint King, but he dared to attack him. A cold smile appeared in his eyes. He waved his tail. It was like a heavenly blade. Instantly, he mobilized the law of water around him and attacked. This power was really too strong. The Blackwater mystical snake wasn't a mutated beast. It was only a beginner Saint King, but it could easily kill a mid-stage Saint King. Lin Xian slapped out. The 9 suns' divine fire burned and the seawater around him disappeared. The law of water was also resisted. He grabbed the snake's tail. The Blackwater mystical snake roared. His eyes were filled with killing intent. He didn't expect his opponent to be so strong. His body moved as he continuously contended against the attack. Lin Xian clenched his fists and clashed with his opponent. Every attack was like thunder in the deep sea, shattering everything. The beasts in the sea all crawled in fear. After hundreds of attacks, the Blackwater mystical snake retreated. Many of his scales had fallen off and there were cracks on his body. Damn it. His physique was so strong, but at this moment, it was actually injured by the other party. Thinking of this, he gritted his teeth. He roared. The law of water appeared and circled around his body. His 1,000-meter-tall body quickly shrank until he was only about 1 meter tall. Although his body had shrunk, he was still able to reach a height of 1 meter. Although he was small, his power was more terrifying. It helped him move faster. He turned into countless afterimages and charged over, his speed 10 times faster than before. How terrifying. Lin Xian was also astonished. With his power, even a middle-stage Saint King's body would have long since been torn apart. However, his opponent had only been wounded and that was all. One could well imagine how powerful the other party's body was. It was even more terrifying than a saint artifact. Now that it was charging over at such a fast speed, it was truly like a sharp sword. Lin Xian stood where he was without moving. He pushed his divine body to its limits and at the same time, his eyes kept moving. He could clearly track the snake's movements. What he wanted to do was to subdue the other party, not kill the other party, so he had to use his own methods. The Blackwater mystical serpent attacked rapidly. In a flash, millions of attacks landed on Lin Xian. The void around Lin Xian kept splitting apart, making clanging noises. The dark water mystical snake stepped back and sneered. Yi Futian was dead for sure. When he discovered that he couldn't break through his opponent's attack, he was stunned. He was furious and attacked again. Like a black demonic sword, it charged over. However, it was caught by Lin Xian. Lin Xian's lips curled up. His golden eyes looked at the other party, piercing into the Blackwater mystical snake's soul. The Blackwater mystical snake roared. Damn this guy. He was a beast tamer. He wanted to control him. What a joke. He would never allow himself to be controlled by an ant. He let out a furious roar. The power of his bloodline was limitless. All the beasts within thousands of miles all prostrated themselves. This was the pressure of his bloodline. Above the sea, the Black Sea Octopus's 10,000-meter-long body also trembled. What happened? Xiao Yunshu was shocked. Did a top-level beast show up? Xiao Shiyu also frowned. What a terrifying bloodline pressure. It must be a mutated species of the world, and an extremely terrifying one. She wondered where Mr. Lin was. Would he be in danger? If such a beast came out, everyone would retreat. Could Lin Xian have encountered one at this moment? She even wanted to go and look for him. However, at this moment Mr. Xiaoyao said, "Don't worry. Mr. Lin is fine." As soon as he said that, Xiao Shiyu was stunned. So was Xiao Yunshu. She knew that Mr. Xiaoyao had been suppressing Lin Xian before. Why was he speaking for him now? It seemed that something must have happened between the two of them, but she didn't know what it was exactly. The Blackwater mystical snake's bloodline pressure was extremely terrifying. He wanted to use it to suppress Lin Xian. Unfortunately, he was wrong. Lin Xian was unmoved. The golden light in his eyes became even more terrifying. At the same time, Lin Xian also let out a dragon roar. It shook the sky. It was even more terrifying than the bloodline pressure before. The Blackwater mystical snake was completely stunned. His opponent's bloodline was even higher than his? The roar made him feel fear from the bottom of his soul. At this moment, thousands of beasts roared as if they were worshipping their king. Some of the weaker ones even cracked and turned into blood mist. The octopus on the sea almost fainted. Xiao Shiyu and Xiao Yunshu were also shocked. This roar was even more terrifying than before. Could it be that two top-level beasts were fighting? It was unimaginable. After the dragon roar, the Blackwater mystical snake was completely terrified. On the other hand, Lin Xian unleashed the power of his heavenly fortune god eyes and took control of his opponent. Lin Xian let go of his hand. The Blackwater mystical snake floated there. "Greetings, master." He also spoke. His voice was very young. And it was a woman's voice. "Very well, you can live in the sea for now. When I need you, I will summon you. During this time, try to recruit as many subordinates as you can." Lin Xian gave the order. The Blackwater mystical snake expressed that he understood and turned to leave. Lin Xian's eyes flashed. He did not need the snake now. But once he left this place, when he returned to Ethereal Peak, the snake would become a sharp sword for him. He did not expect a Blackwater mystical snake to be so troublesome. Lin Xian saw that it had been a long time. He was afraid that Xiao Xiu and the others would come to find him. And the two roars just now definitely attracted their attention. Lin Xian did not recruit any more beasts. He turned and left. On the sea, Xiao Xiu was extremely nervous. It had been a long time and Lin Xian was still not back. "I'm going to look for him," Xiao Xiu said. "No, there must be top-level beasts fighting just now. It will be very dangerous for us to go there. And don't worry, that guy is a coward. I bet he won't dare to go there," Xiao Yunshu said. "Is that so? Then where should I go?" At this moment, a voice was heard. Then a figure flew out from the sea. "Lin Xian, you're back." Xiao Xiu was overjoyed. Chapter 4577. Next, the group continued to move out and captured a few more beasts before leaving. After returning, Xiao Xiu and Xiao Yunshu separated. They each went into seclusion to prepare to control these beasts. Xiao Xiu went back and prepared to control the Black Sea Octopus with all her might. This was an even more terrifying existence than the Black Fire Demon Ape. Lin Xian said there was no hurry. "Let's adjust to the peak state first and then prepare to make a move." Xiao Xiu nodded. She now believed in Lin Xian unconditionally. Taking a deep breath, a sharp light burst out from her eyes and she began to cultivate in seclusion. Finally, she adjusted her body to the peak state. She stood up and looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, "It's the same as before. I'll help you." Xiao Xiu nodded. "Thank you. Recently, I've also made a breakthrough in the phantom sound. I'll definitely succeed this time." The two of them began to make a move. On the other side, Xiao Yunshu also went into seclusion after returning. She was also incomparably nervous. This time she wanted to try to control a beast. This was an electric eel. It was very terrifying. Although it was only 2 meters long, its body was surrounded by lightning and could pierce through the 9 heavens. Moreover, this was an existence that had reached the middle stage of the Saint King realm. Although it had just reached that stage, its aura was incomparably terrifying. Xiao Yunshu's eyes shone with a piercing light. This time she must succeed. This way she could become a one-soul saint master. This was an identity that she dreamed of. "Xiaoyao, please help me with all your strength," Xiao Yunshu said in a deep voice. She knew that these sects of his were all here to pursue her, especially this young master Xiaoyao. Previously, he had all kinds of solicitude and concern for her. Although she hated it, she had to rely on his strength. Especially this time. Young master Xiaoyao nodded and said respectfully, "Fairy Yunshu, don't worry. I will help you with all my strength." After saying that, he stood there and began to make preparations. Xiao Yunshu was surprised. That's not right. He's completely different from the previous young master Xiaoyao. This made her puzzled. She remembered that ever since young master Xiaoyao was chased back, he had changed. He was completely different from before. This made her very puzzled. What happened before? This guy came back with Lin Xian. Could it be that something happened in between? When she thought of Lin Xian, Xiao Yunshu clenched her teeth. That damned bastard, he was so strong. If he could help her, then she would have died. She would definitely be able to become a one-soul beast-controlling sacred expert. Unfortunately, this guy completely ignored her, which made her feel defeated. "No, I have to calm down. Xiao Yunshu, calm down." One day later, she was ready to make her move. Endless great Tao surged from the electric eel in front. Terrifying lightning surrounded the 9 heavens. Xiao Yunshu's face paled as she tried to defend herself with the phantasmal melody. At the same time, beside her, the jade white lion also roared towards the sky, releasing a large amount of clouds and mist to resist. Mr. Xiao Yao was assisting from the side. On the first day, Xiao Yunshu couldn't hold on any longer because the power of the lightning was too frightening. However, she gritted her teeth. She was unwilling to give up, so she performed the phantom sound song with all her might. On the second day, her hallucinatory melody had a breakthrough and reached a deeper level. This greatly increased her strength. Finally, she succeeded in subduing the electric eel. The 2-meter-long electric eel flew over and circled around her arm. Endless thunder enveloped her. This time it wouldn't be a threat to her. Xiao Yunshu waved her hand, and monstrous lightning pierced through the void, releasing a thunderous sound. This scene shocked the Xiao clan. Countless people were surprised. What was going on? That was Fairy Yunshu's residence, right? Could it be that she had subdued a powerful demonic beast? A figure flew over, and those elders also flew into the sky, because they felt that the electric eel was also very strong. Many people came to Xiao Yunshu's residence. Among them an old man asked, "Yunshu, did you succeed?" This old man had a head of red hair and was abnormally excited. Yunshu was also happy. "Grandfather, I succeeded. I really succeeded in subduing this electric eel. Great, with your current strength, you are already a one-soul beast controlling sacred expert." The surrounding people were also surprised. Really? Wasn't she on par with Xiao Xiu? Because the current Xiao Xiu was also a one-soul beast controlling sacred expert. Another old man nodded. Yes, she was very strong. Although she wasn't as strong as the black fire demonic ape, she wasn't too far off. Yunshu indeed had the qualifications now. Congratulations. The young disciples began to congratulate her. The elders also congratulated the red-haired old man. The red-haired old man and Xiao Yunshu were very happy, especially Xiao Yunshu. He was really excited. This was great. He broke through before the mountain sea battle. This way he could shine during the beast battle. In the sky, a middle-aged man was somewhat gloomy. Damn it, did Yunshu also break through? First it was Xiao Xiu and now it was Xiao Yunshu. This made him gnash his teeth. This was Xiao Xiu's uncle. At this moment he wasn't very happy. At this moment, a sky-shaking voice came from afar, shaking the 9 heavens. Everyone was surprised. Those demonic beasts also crawled on the ground, and even the electric eel on Yunshu's side. The lightning energy that filled the sky also became dim. What had happened this time? Everyone was surprised and turned their heads to look. An elder exclaimed. That was Xiao Xiu's residence. This voice. Could it be that she had subdued an even more powerful demonic beast? That's right, I can feel it. The power of this demonic beast is even more terrifying than the Blackfire demon ape. Let's go and take a look. Countless elders rose into the sky. The young disciples of the Xiao clan were also stunned. No way, how long has it been? Could it be that Xiao Xiu's strength has become stronger again? As expected of the number 1 sky pride. This was the aura of the Black Sea Octopus. Xiao Yunshu could naturally feel it too. He also followed along. At the back of the mountain, the huge Black Sea Octopus slowly shrunk until it was the size of an apple. It flew onto Xiao Xiu's palm. This was great. She finally succeeded. Xiao Xiu was also happy. This was great, she had finally subdued it again. Of course, this was all thanks to Lin Xian. Before she could even thank him, countless people appeared in her residence. There were young disciples and many elders. Even in the palace far away, a woman flew over. A woman also flew over, her face filled with excitement. Xiao Yu, did you really succeed? This person was Xiao Yu's mother. When Xiao Yu saw her, she also flew over. Mother, I did it. This was great, this was great. The woman was extremely happy and her face was full of tears. Ever since her father disappeared, she had been suppressed by her family. Fortunately, her talent was very high and she finally became an elder. And now, her daughter showed that she was more talented than her. Chapter 4578. The third elder from before also came. He looked at the middle-aged woman and said with a smile, "Seventh elder, you really have a good daughter." Then he looked at Xiao Xiu and said, "Xiu, if you have any requests, just say it. The family will definitely satisfy you." That was great. He didn't expect Xiao Xiu's talent to be so good. This was simply a great thing for the Xiao clan. In the sky, a middle-aged man who was Xiao Xiu's uncle, looked even colder. First it was Xiao Yunshu, now it's Xiao Xiu. Damn it. Xiao Xiu turned to look at the third elder and said, "Thank you, third elder. But I don't need anything. I feel good now." With Lin Xian's help, she really didn't need anything else. Everyone congratulated him for a while before leaving. At this time, Xiao Yunshu also walked over and said with a smile, "Sister Xiu, congratulations." To be honest, she was still a little depressed. Because she had just broken through and became a one-soul beast taming Saint Master, which brought her great joy. In her opinion, she wasn't inferior to Xiao Xiu. She might even be able to surpass her in the future. But she didn't expect that just as she broke through, the other party also broke through and was still 1 realm ahead of her. This made her know that it would be difficult for her to catch up with this sister. However, she had always been on good terms with Xiao Xiu, so Xiao Xiu broke through. She was naturally happy. Thank you, Sister Yunshu. You have also broken through to the beast-taming Saint Master. I think you will definitely shine during the Mountain Sea Beast battles. The two of them chatted for a while. Then Xiao Xiu prepared to leave. Not long after, she heard Xiao Xiu say from behind, "Young Master Lin, thank you very much this time. I'm going to give you the Black Fire Demon Ape and let it become your mount." What? Xiao Yunshu didn't continue walking. She stopped and turned around. Sister Xiu, how can you give such a precious beast to him? This kid didn't say anything to you again, did he? After saying that, she glared fiercely at Lin Xian. You brat, are you up to something again? One had to know that the Black Fire Demon Ape was a beast even more terrifying than her deep-sea electric eel. Countless people would be jealous. Now she wanted to give it a gate? Lin Xian didn't want it at first because it wasn't of much use to him. However, when he saw Yunshu's expression, he smiled. If he said yes, then I won't stand on ceremony. Then he looked at Yunshu. What, do you have a problem with that? Unfortunately, it's useless even if you have opinions. Yunshu was so angry that she was about to vomit blood. Her face was pale. Damn it, she really wanted to bite him. No, she was crazy. She felt that she would faint from anger if she stayed any longer. Xiao Yunshu quickly left. She truly did not understand why Xiao Xiu would treat this guy so well. Seeing Yunshu leave, Lin Xian smiled and said, "You should keep the Black Fire Demonic Ape. I don't need it. Besides, aren't you going to participate in the Mountain Sea Trials? Might come in handy. How am I supposed to thank you?" Xiao Xiu asked. She stared at Lin Xian as a strange feeling arose in her heart. If you really want to thank me, then get into the top 10 in the Mountain Sea Beast battles. Next, the two of them continued to cooperate and cultivate. Although Xiao Xiu had broken through this time, she still felt pressured. At least it would be very difficult for her to defeat Qing Qin, because Qing Qin was already a two-spirit beast tamer Saint Master. It was said that he did not need anyone's help and could control a terrifying mid-stage Saint King beast. He could even control two beasts. His strength was unparalleled. Moreover, he would definitely have a powerful assistant to help him in the Mountain Sea Trials. Maybe he could control 3 beasts or more. He would definitely be a strong opponent. Lin Xian's eyes flickered when he heard that. He was indeed strong, but he was not afraid. When the time came, he would let him know the consequences of daring to attack him. Another month passed and the Mountain Sea Coliseum was already very close. On this day, the Shao clan became extremely lively because from now on, they would select the people to participate in the Mountain Sea Trials. Not everyone was qualified to participate. After all, these people represented their families when they went out. If they were too weak and were eliminated, their clans would lose face. Therefore, every clan would hold a test in advance and let the experts who passed the test participate. This way the success rate would be much higher. Today was the day of the Shao clan's test. Those who were prepared to participate moved quickly and headed to the square. It was the same for Xiao Xiu. She was ready. Today Xiao Xiu was wearing a long red dress. It was obvious that she had dolled herself up. She came to Lin Xian, twirled around and asked with a smile. How was it? Was it okay? Lin Xian was also stunned. He had to admit that Xiao Xiu was indeed a peerless fairy. Soon he came back to his senses and said with a smile. It was not just okay, it was quite okay. Then he said with a smile, no wonder Qing Qin wanted to marry you. I think anyone else would have made the same decision. What about you? Xiao Xiu asked. Lin Xian was stunned. He did not expect her to ask that. Alright, I'm just kidding. Xiao Xiu blushed and changed the topic. Are you going to wear this? She did not care at all. Lin Xian said, it doesn't matter. I rely on my strength anyway. You really know how to brag. Just then a cold snort sounded. Xiao Yunshu walked over. Today she had dolled herself up meticulously, looking like a fairy. When she heard Lin Xian's words, she was displeased. Why did she want to beat this guy up so badly? Yunshu, you're here. Xiao Xiu smiled. Xiao Yunshu said, Sister Xiu, let's go. Then the two of them walked forward. The square was bustling with noise. Today, other than those who were out on missions or in seclusion, everyone else from the Shao clan was here. They were all gathered here. It was a huge crowd. This was a big event for the Shao clan. Not only were the young ones here, even the elders were here. Among them were the 10 elders. They were the judges for this event. Look, Fairy Yunshu is here. Fairy Xiu is here too. Someone exclaimed. Countless disciples of the Shao clan turned their heads to look in the direction of the voice. The next moment their eyes widened. They were simply way too beautiful. The crowd consciously opened up a path for the two peerless fairies to walk through. Faced with countless envious gazes, the two of them were calm. These gazes had been with them since they were young. They would be with them in the future as well. When they arrived at the front of the square, the two of them separated and each took a spot. Lin Xian and young Mr. Xiao Yao followed behind. Lin Xian took a step forward and stood beside Xiao Xiu, causing countless people to exclaim. Who was this person? What rights did he have to stand beside Fairy Xiu? That's right. Where did he get the rights from? Many people gritted their teeth. Someone asked, could he be Fairy Xiu's disciple? The moment those words came out, everyone was stunned. Didn't they say that Xiao Xiu had no disciples? Why was she here? Chapter 45-79. Third Elder was also surprised. He looked at Lin Xian curiously. He had an impression of this person. He seemed to have seen him once before when Xiao Yu subdued the black fire demon ape. The other time was when she subdued the deep-sea octopus. This guy was there both times. Could it be that he had something to do with it? Was he Xiao Yu's assistant? The others were also surprised. Eldest uncle walked up and sneered. Xiao Yu, don't tell me that this is the assistant you found. Yes, that's right. Young Master Lin is my assistant. He will participate in the mountain sea trials with me, Xiao Yu said loudly. As soon as she said that, the surrounding people were stunned. What? Is that really the case? How could this guy be so lucky? That's right. Who is he? Why haven't I seen him before? Oh, I remember now. It's that guy. During the test, he blocked 100,000 flying swords and even said that he was here to look for Xiao Yu. At that time, many people sneered and mocked him. They didn't expect him to really do it. So what if he blocked 100,000 flying swords? The mountain sea trials wasn't child's play. Moreover, he was Xiao Yu's assistant. Eldest uncle said coldly. Xiao Yu, the mountain sea trials isn't your own business. It also represents the glory of the Xiao family. I can't believe you. Get someone else. This kid isn't qualified. That's right. Kid, leave quickly. It should be me. Many people around gritted their teeth. Lin Xian frowned slightly. He looked at the middle-aged man and sneered. You're such a busybody. Are you the leader of the Xiao family? Are you a core elder? You're nothing. Do you have the right to speak here? You're courting death. Eldest uncle was furious. He gritted his teeth so hard that they were about to shatter. Detestable brat, a small sect like yours actually dares to lecture me? Do you have the right to speak? If I say he does, then he does. Xiao Xiu also stood out. The atmosphere between the two parties was a little tense. At this moment, the third elder said, Keep quiet. What are you doing? Eldest uncle snorted and retreated. Xiao Yu didn't say anything. The eyes of the seventh elder, who was the middle-aged woman, flickered. Although she did not know why she would allow such an unfamiliar young man to come, she still believed in Lu Yu unconditionally. Next, the third elder said that all those who were preparing to participate in the mountain sea trials should come forward to sign up. Soon, dozens of figures walked out. There were indeed quite a number of people. One could imagine how many geniuses there were in the Xiao clan. However, it was clear that it was impossible for so many people to participate in the competition. The third elder said that those who were unable to control Saint King-level demonic beasts were to leave. As soon as these words were spoken, half of the people immediately retreated. They looked unwilling, but they really didn't have the strength to do so. There were still a dozen or so figures left. The third elder said in a clear voice, Then let the second test begin. Take the Tiger Demon Heavenly Thunder Drum. 2 Saint Kings carried a large drum and walked over. Even the void kept shaking. This was a terrifying sacred weapon. The moment it appeared, it brought with it an extremely strong soul suppression. The expressions of the surrounding people became grave. They retreated one after another. The other elders formed seals with their palms and formed a barrier around the square, enveloping the participants. The third elder looked around and said, Next, I will activate the Tiger Demon Sky Drum. Those who can withstand 3 attacks can stay and participate in the test. Those who fail will withdraw. After saying that, he slapped his palm on the drum. A terrifying sound of thunder rang out, accompanied by the sound of a tiger's roar that swept out in all directions. This was an extremely strong soul power. Many people in the surroundings instantly felt suppressed. A few figures retreated, vomiting blood and looking pale. Lin Xian was also surprised. This drum was not ordinary. It was obviously made with the skin and bones of demonic beasts. It was extremely terrifying. Only those with extremely powerful souls would be able to withstand it. Among the dozen or so figures, some of them could not withstand it. They were all injured and were rescued by the elders. There were still some people left. These people were trying their best to withstand it. Some of them used terrifying soul powers. Some of them directly used the hallucinatory melody to resist it. Lin Xian also snorted coldly. His eyes shone with a golden light, forming a barrier to resist the sound. Although it was terrifying, it was not a threat to him. A second sound rang out. These people's faces turned even paler. Many of them even retreated. Another voice rang out, and immediately, another figure was sent flying while coughing up blood and fainting. Then, the third elder withdrew his palm and said with a smile, "Very good, you have all successfully passed. You can participate in the next Mountain Sea trials." "Great," Xiao Yunshu smiled. Xiao Shiyu's lips curled into a smile. Lin Xian looked around and realized that other than the helpers from the sect, there were only 5 disciples from the Xiao clan who had successfully passed. The 4 of them smiled, but one of them had an ugly expression. It was a man. At this moment he shook his head and sighed. Although he blocked it, he fainted when he found the gate. Moreover, he was injured. How could he participate in the competition? Shaking his head, he could only give up helplessly. Without an assistant, his strength would not be able to get a good ranking. In this way, only 4 groups of people participated. Each group had an assistant to cooperate with them. Among them, other than Xiao Shiyu and Xiao Yunshu, the other 2 disciples of the Xiao clan were a woman and a man. That woman was slightly older than Xiao Shiyu, and she was extremely arrogant. Through Xiao Shiyu he found out that this person was called Xiao Yu. Her father, who was Xiao Shiyu's uncle, was the middle-aged man. Lin Xian was surprised and narrowed his eyes. The Xiao Yu was also very strong. It seemed that the Xiao clan was very deep. The other people looked at the few people who passed the test and started discussing among themselves. They were incomparably envious. Many of the elders looked at Lin Xian with surprise. They did not expect Lin Xian to pass the test. It seemed that this unfamiliar man was quite strong. No wonder he could get Xiao Shiyu's approval. The uncle's face was cold, but soon he sneered. "Let this kid participate. When the time comes, this kid will definitely die." This was because he knew that Qing Chen would marry Xiao Shiyu after the Mountain Sea Beast trials ended. Not only was Qing Chen strong and talented, but he was also arrogant and bad-tempered. Whoever he liked, he would never allow other men to stand beside her. It seemed that this Lin Xian was definitely unlucky. Letting Qing Chen do it would save him a lot of trouble. After getting rid of this kid and chasing Xiao Shiyu away, no one in the younger generation of the Xiao clan would be able to compete with his daughter. At that time he would fight for more resources for his daughter. He would even help his daughter become the young clan leader and control the entire Xiao clan. That was his ultimate goal. At this moment, everything was going according to his plan. In front, the 3rd elder smiled and said, "All right, go back and rest. 5 days later, you will participate in the Mountain Sea trials." Not only the Xiao clan, but the other clans were also experiencing a similar scene. Every clan selected a group of experts to participate in the Mountain Sea trials. Chapter 4580. Countless people gathered towards the Mountain Sea Palace. There was a large hall inside the Mountain Sea Palace. It was extremely spacious and could accommodate anyone who wanted to enter. At this moment there were several figures standing in the hall. The soul auras of these figures were abnormally huge. There were terrifying demonic beasts crawling beside them. These people were wearing Taoist robes with an eye embroidered on their sleeves. It was extremely mysterious. There were different Qingchens shining in the eye. The number of Qingchens indicated that these people had different identities. For example, a one-soul beast tamer Saint Master had a rune in his eye. At this moment, the people here were all elders of the Mountain Sea Palace. They were extremely powerful. Many of them had 5 runes on their sleeves. This indicated that they were 5-soul beast tamer Saint Masters. There was even a person with 6 runes waving in the eye on his sleeve. His identity was even more terrifying. Apart from them, there was also a young man standing there. This young man was extremely handsome and had a tall and straight figure. If Lin Xian and the others were here, they would definitely be shocked. This was because they knew this person. It was the number 1 genius of the Green Clan, Qing Chen. At this moment, Qing Chen was standing in front of an elder. That elder was sitting on a black tortoise. The soul on his body was abnormally terrifying. There were 5 runes in the eye on his sleeve, indicating that he was a 5-soul beast tamer Saint Master. "Greetings, Master." Qing Chen bowed respectfully to the elder on the black tortoise. The black tortoise elder smiled. "Chen, You don't have to be so polite. Let me see how strong you have been recently. He glanced at Qingchen and then smiled. Not bad. It seems like you are already an extremely powerful existence among the two-soul beast tamer Saint Masters. After this Mountain Sea tournament, come to the Mountain Sea Palace to cultivate with me. I guarantee that you will become a three-soul beast tamer Saint Master in the shortest time possible. Hearing this, Qingchen's eyes lit up. He smiled and said, Thank you, Master. You don't have to thank me. You are very young and your future achievements are limitless. Moreover, your talent is very good. It is my honor to be able to teach you. He smiled. Elder Xin, I'm afraid it is not possible for you to take away your disciple so quickly. I heard that this little guy is going to marry a proud daughter of heaven immediately after the Mountain Sea tournament. Is that so? The old man from the Black Tortoise was also surprised as he looked at Qingchen. Qingchen smiled. There was indeed such a thing. I want to marry Xiao Xiu of the Xiao clan, so it was that little brat. Elder Xian Gui nodded and smiled. Her talent was not bad and she was a genius. She was indeed worthy of you. However, I heard that it's unlikely for her to get into the top 10. Don't worry, Chenair. With your strength, defeating her is not a problem. Many thanks for Shizhuan's praise. In the distance, the people from the Green Clan also smiled. This was great. The Mountain Sea trials hadn't even started yet, but their number one genius had already obtained the approval of the Mountain Sea Palace's elder and had successfully become his disciple. This was great news for them. As for the Xiao clan's battle, what a joke. No matter how strong Xiao Xiu was, she wouldn't be a match for Qingchen. Therefore, there were no surprises in this engagement. After marrying Xiao Xiu, they would think of a way to swallow up the Xiao clan. At that time, no one would be their match. Just as he was thinking about it, another person walked over from afar. These people were also riding on strange beasts and their auras were extremely frightening. The people from the Green Clan turned around and smiled. They had come at the right time. The leader of the Green Clan went up with a smile. So it was the leader of the Xiao clan. Long time no see. How are you now? The people who came were from the Xiao clan. The leader was also a middle-aged man with an extremely frightening aura. He was also the leader of the Xiao clan. Greetings, Dawish Qing. The leader of the Xiao clan returned the greeting. Then these older people walked forward. It seemed that they had something to talk about. Only the younger generation were left. The younger disciples of the Xiao clan looked around curiously. Those who came were the participants of the test. As for those who came to watch the competition, they were still behind. The competition would be held here later. Xiao Yunshu looked around with a face full of excitement. Soon the main hall would be filled with people. Countless experts and sages would be here to watch the competition. And they would compete here. If they succeeded, they would soar into the sky and become famous. They might even be chosen by the Mountain Sea Palace as a disciple. This was an unparalleled honor. In front, the people from the Green Clan walked over. The leader was Qingchen. Qingchen looked at Xiao Xiu and smiled. Xiao Xiu, I will marry you very soon. Xiao Xiu snorted coldly. I have said that you have no hope. Xiu, do you really think that you can make it to the top 10? It is impossible for you. Qingchen shook his head. She was not qualified. At the same time, he frowned. He realized that there was a figure beside Xiao Xiu. It seemed to be Xiao Xiu's assistant. What surprised him was that the assistant was a man. Moreover, it was the person he met the last time. Suddenly, his face darkened. Didn't I say that you are not allowed to have other people around you? Kid, do you want to die? He stared at Lin Xian. Suddenly, he released a terrifying soul force. The surrounding people were shocked. They didn't know what had made Qingchen so angry. The people from the Xiao clan were also on guard. Xiao Xiu's face darkened. She said coldly, What do you want? Do you want to fight here? Let me warn you. Don't forget where you are. Lin Xian frowned. This was the third time that this guy had targeted him. He even sent people to kill him. Did he really think that he was a pushover? A cold light flashed in Tali's eyes. Since you want to die, I will fulfill your wish. As he said that, he walked up to Qingchen. The surrounding people were shocked. Who was this kid? How dare he go against Qingchen? Did he want to die? The people from the Green Clan sneered. Xiao Xiu stopped Lin Xian and said, This is the territory of the Mountain Sea Palace. We have to abide by the rules. We can't fight here. Lin Xian nodded. Okay, I will let him live a little longer. After the Mountain Sea trials, it will be his time to die. Damn kid, this is what I want to say to you. Qingchen snorted coldly. His eyes were filled with killing intent. No one had ever dared to challenge him. Moreover, he was now a member of the Mountain Sea Summit. He had become a disciple of the Mountain Sea Palace's elder. His status was much higher than Xiao Shiyu's. Not to mention he was just a mere disciple. It would be a piece of cake for him to kill Qing Qin. Xiao Shiyu, it was not a wise choice for you to find such a guy. I advise you to tell him to get lost. Otherwise he might implicate the entire Xiao clan. Also you are mine. No one can change that. Qing Qin snorted coldly. His eyes were filled with confidence and dominance. The people from the Xiao clan were on high alert. They had no choice. The other party was too strong. Even Xiao Shiyu looked solemn. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was stunned. Where did he get his confidence from? You. It's a good thing that you can't fight here. Otherwise you would be a dead man by now. I will give you a chance. Start running now. After the Mountain Sea trials, run as far as you can. This way you can live a little longer. Otherwise, once the Mountain Sea trials ends, it will be your time to die. Chapter 45-81. Alright, let's not bother about this guy. Let's go. Xiao Shiyu was afraid that the two of them would fight, so she pulled Lin Xian and left. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people were all stupefied, especially the people from the Green Clan. They couldn't believe it. Wasn't this the person that their genius had taken a fancy to? She was actually with someone else. It was unbelievable. Qing Qin's face turned green in an instant. He was about to go crazy from anger. The elders in the distance also saw it. The Green Clan Grand Elder's face darkened. The Green Clan leader even said, "Friends from the Xiao clan, what's going on? I hope you can give us an explanation." The faces of the people from the Xiao clan turned ugly. The Xiao clan leader frowned. What's going on? The three elders sighed. Xiao Shiyu is too young. We'll educate her when we get back. The seventh elder sneered. Who are you to educate my daughter? What did my daughter do wrong? Moreover, who agreed to it? I didn't agree. My daughter didn't agree to the marriage either. Hearing this, the Xiao clan leader's face turned even uglier. The corners of Drizzle's uncle's mouth curled up into a cold smile. Great, it seems like I've angered the Qing clan. They'll kill this kid next. Lin Xian and Xiao Shiyu walked away, leaving behind the furious Qing Qin. He swore that he would kill that kid and make Xiao Shiyu regret it. When he shone in the Mountain Sea Beast fighting competition, he would make these two kneel at his feet. At this moment, another person walked over. His appearance attracted the attention of the others. Instantly, many people exclaimed. They forgot about what happened before and stared at that person, discussing. That person should be Mu Linfeng. So handsome. That's right, it's him. Many people's eyes lit up. He was also a top genius. Moreover, he was already a two-spirit beast tamer Saint Master. He was a genius on par with Qing Qin. As expected, even the people from the Green Clan looked solemn. Although their family's #1 genius was famous in Shanghai City, there were three other people who could be on par with Qing Qin. One of them was Mu Linfeng, the other two were Guyu and Hanqiu. They were all top geniuses. The people of the Xiao clan looked at Mu Lingfeng with envy. How great would it be if the Xiao clan had such a top-notch genius? Although Xiao Shiyu was also an incredible genius, compared to these few people, she was still a little lacking. On the other side, Xiao Shiyu was whispering to Lin Xian. Lin Xian also looked at Mu Lingfeng. Indeed, he could feel an extremely powerful soul aura from Mu Lingfeng. One had to say that Shanghai City had many beast-taming geniuses. Mu Linfeng's eyes were also very mysterious. He must have mastered some kind of powerful eye technique. Things were getting more and more interesting. He wondered how strong the other two top experts were. At the same time, he also understood why Xiao Shiyu was so worried. It would not be easy to get into the top 10 among such people. This was because these were only the geniuses on the surface. There were still some hidden geniuses who might soar into the sky. In addition, there were some people from other clans whose strength was not weaker than Xiao Shiyu's. It would be extremely difficult for him to fight his way out of this place. However, Lin Xian was confident that with his help, they would be able to sweep through everything. Who were those people? Lin Xian was surprised. He was not paying attention to the younger generation, but to the few elders whose aura was abnormally terrifying. Even he felt his hair stand on end. Xiao Shiyu also looked over and said, "They were from Shanghai Palace and they were elders of Shanghai Palace. They should be 5-spirit beast taming Saint Masters. They could control late-stage Saint King beasts. They could even control peak Saint King beasts. Their strength was extremely terrifying." Shanghai Palace? Indeed, they lived up to their reputation. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. At the same time, The elders of the Mountain Sea Palace also frowned slightly as they looked in their direction. What was going on? The people of Green Clan were surprised. The elder frowned slightly. His sharp eyes flashed. It seemed that an eye technique expert had arrived. However, he did not know where he was hiding. The other elders of Shanghai Palace were also surprised. They did feel an extremely shocking soul power just now. This time it was really interesting. They hoped to meet some interesting dark horses. Then the other beast-taming clans arrived one after another. They bowed to each other and then greeted the people of Shanghai Palace. At this moment, more powerful people arrived. Their auras were incomparably terrifying, and their laws were overflowing. They were not beast-tamers but other terrifying laws. Obviously they were not beast-tamer clans but other sections. Countless people were surprised. Xiao Shiyu's pupils shrank. She said that they were from Wanhua clan. Lin Xian looked over carefully. As expected, they felt a familiar aura from them. It was said that Wanhua clan practiced the Wanhua divine technique. It was a very magical, unique technique that could break down any power. This technique made people despair. Lin Xian had seen it before. It was indeed magical. In addition to Wanhua clan, some of the big sects around Shanghai Palace had also arrived. They were here to watch the Shanghai beast fights. Every Shanghai beast fight was a ranking of the beast tamer clans in Shanghai City. They had close cooperation with these beast tamer clans. Naturally, they were very concerned. Not long after, another exclamation was heard. A woman walked over. This woman had a fierce aura. She was one of the top geniuses. Her name was Han Xiu. Her appearance also attracted a lot of attention. Speaking of which, Han Xiu's reputation was even above Xiao Shiyu's. 3 top geniuses had already appeared. There was still Guyu. Was he not here yet? Countless people were surprised. At this moment, a voice came from afar. Guyu walked over. He was wearing a black robe. He was like a ghost. It was very strange. He was very fast. Not only that, everyone was shocked to find that there was a pair of eyes embroidered on his sleeve. It was very strange. And there were 3 runes in the eyes. 3-soul beast tamer master. God, how was this possible? The surrounding people were all stunned. Even those geniuses were surprised. Xiao Shiyu's pupils shrank. 3-soul beast tamer master was too strong. He was even more terrifying than Qing Qin. One had to know that Qing Qin was only a 2-soul beast tamer master. In his opinion, no one in the younger generation could become a 3-soul beast tamer master, but the other party did it. It was over. Who would be a match for the other party in this Shanghai beast fights? Qing Qin's face also turned cold. He did not expect that the other party would break through before the fight. It was really despicable. He gritted his teeth. On the other side, Han Xiu's eyes were also flickering with a ferocious expression. The people from the big sects around were also surprised. Many of them had already started to prepare to befriend this person after the fight. Chapter 4582. Those beast tamer clans were even more envious. At this moment, an elder of the Mountain Sea Palace walked out. He waved his hands and thunder rumbled in all directions. The entire palace fell silent. Hundreds of millions of warriors looked forward. Elder 7 spirits looked around. Then he smiled and said, "Welcome to the Mountain Sea Palace. I now announce the start of the Mountain Sea Beast Trials. All participants will enter the square in front." His words were very simple. After he finished speaking, many people walked up. At the same time, formations and enchantments appeared around them. They shrouded the entire square. Everyone else sucked in a deep breath. The people from those clans had also come. They were all watching, incomparably nervous. They wondered how far the geniuses of their clans could go. Elder 7 spirits said, "You have 2 days for the first round of the competition. In 2 days you will successfully subdue a sacred king-level monster. Those who complete the task within the specified time will advance to the next round. Otherwise you will be eliminated. Now you have 30 minutes to prepare. The competition will begin in 30 minutes." As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people all took a deep breath. This was within their expectations. After the time it took for an incense stick to burn was up, a spatial crack opened above the square. Then, countless figures of demon beasts walked out. Each of them was extremely terrifying. They roared as soon as they appeared. Everyone found that these monsters were chained. Apparently, they were suppressed by the people of the Mountain Sea Palace. The beast tamers taking part in the competition took a deep breath. They looked up and were about to look for a beast to suppress. At this moment, Elder 7 spirits said, The competition will begin now. As his voice fell, the chains of law in the sky kept breaking apart, and one demonic beast after another charged over. What was going on? Countless people were shocked. What was going on? They all looked at the Mountain Sea Palace. An elder of a clan said, "Is there a problem with the formation and the chains?" The elder of the Mountain Sea Palace said with a smile, "There is no problem. Everything is happening in the competition. In this competition, the chains will not be used to suppress the monsters. Instead, they will be controlled while they are free to move." What? As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people were stunned. The difficulty had more than doubled. It had even increased by several times. One had to know that normally when they controlled demonic beasts, they would use array formations to seal them and use laws to suppress them. Then he began to control it. Although it might not succeed, it wouldn't be too dangerous. But now it was different. These demonic beasts had no restrictions. Once the control failed, it was very likely that he would be injured or even killed. Sure enough, the faces of the contestants inside the formation also turned ugly. Why didn't you tell us in advance? If they knew, they could have made such preparations in advance. The upper elder of the Mountain Sea Palace said loudly. Every true beast tamer had to go through hardships. Besides, the Mountain Sea Palace doesn't want good-for-nothings. If they can't even pass this test, they won't be qualified to be a top-level beast tamer. He was even less qualified to join the Mountain Sea Palace. If you're afraid of death, say it now. I'll give you a chance to leave. But from now on, you won't have any chance to enter the Mountain Sea Palace. A loud and clear voice rang out, and everyone in the square fell silent. They gritted their teeth. How could we give up? That is, we are the hope of our family and we will not give up. These people had been through hundreds of battles. Although the situation was beyond their expectations, they would not give up just like that. Xiao Xiu also looked serious. "Mr. Lin, you have to be very careful from now on." At this moment, a figure walked out from beside her. It was Qing Qin. Qing Qin said, "Xiu, be careful. If you can't hold on, you can ask me for help. I won't let you get hurt." After saying that, he laughed loudly and walked forward. There was also a man beside him. The man's energy was also extremely terrifying. He was Qing Chen's assistant. Damn it. What an arrogant guy. Xiao Xiu gritted her teeth, but she still looked forward. Those people around did not act rashly. They were all thinking about how to tame that demonic beast. However, Qing Chen did not care at all. He rushed forward directly. A demonic beast in front of him dashed forward. Qing Chen sneered. "Do it." Then the man in black armor next to him formed a seal with his palms. Immediately, two mountains were formed and slammed forward. The two mountains were tens of thousands of feet tall. They tore the sky apart. They suppressed the demonic beast in front of them. That godly eagle kept shaking, letting out crazy roars. Endless thunder appeared on its body. The demonic beasts around were also furious. They wanted to charge forward. At this moment, Qing Qin stepped forward. Endless blade light appeared in his eyes. He slashed forward. The other demonic beasts were terrified. They felt the suppression of their souls. Even the contestants around turned pale. "Eye of the blade." It was terrifying. Many demonic beasts were scared away. Qing Qin walked down and looked at the godly thunderbolt hawk. He started to use his eye technique. He was controlling it. It was so powerful. Countless beast tamers exclaimed. Then they all started to act. Someone took out a scroll and formed a space enchantment to trap the demonic beast. Someone also extended his soul hand to suppress everything. A terrifying energy erupted. Divine light flashed in the sky. Seeing the people around him, they were shocked. Lin Xian looked around. He first stared at Qing Qin. He had to admit that Qing Qin was indeed strong. His eye technique was especially sharp. The controlled thunderclap godly hawk let out a roar and kept shaking. Obviously, this was a very overbearing control method. Even if it succeeded, the godly thunderbolt hawk's soul would be injured. Its power would be greatly reduced. Under normal circumstances, beast tamers would not do this, because it would cause the demonic beast to lose its strength. But now Qing Qin did not care. In order to be the first to complete the task, he used such a harsh method. Besides him, the people around him also used various methods. Some used soul eye techniques. Some used sound attacks. Some used soul superpowers. They really used all their methods. It made people gasp in amazement. At this moment, many people were shocked, because they found that Guyu was also attacking. He was alone. He did not need any help. He formed a seal with his palms. Endless laws formed a space enchantment. It enveloped a rainbow butterfly. Then he threw out a ball of soul flame and started to burn the butterfly's soul. The rainbow-colored butterfly frantically tried to defend itself, letting out a terrified roar. It looked like it could not hold on at all. He was too strong. As expected of a three-soul beast tamer Saint Master. There was no problem in controlling such a demonic beast. He could do it easily. Outside, the people from those clans were also discussing. The people of the Green Clan smiled. Apart from a few people who could pose a threat to Qing Qin, the rest of them were no match for him. Chapter 4583. The Saint Kings from the Thousand Transformation sect also laughed. As expected of young Master Qing Qin, the #1 genius of the Green Clan. He was indeed strong. With his talent, it would not be a problem for him to become a top beast tamer in the future. It seemed that their cooperation with the Green Clan could continue. The elders of the Green Clan were also very satisfied. They laughed. That was for sure. The leader of the Green Clan also nodded. This kid's achievements in the future will definitely surpass mine. Unfortunately, that Xiao Xiu did not know what was good for her. She actually went with someone at this time. How ridiculous. Just wait and see. She will pay the price. The leader of the Green Clan looked at Xiao Xiu and Lin Xian with a cold light in his eyes. At this moment there was a change in the square in front of them. The rainbow butterfly roared and surrendered. Everyone was surprised. That was fast. How long had it been? He had already subdued it? As expected of a beast tamer with 3 souls. Soon, with a roar, the thunder condor also surrendered and crawled under Qing Chen's feet. Qing Chen's lips curled into a smile. Not bad. They were not that far apart. The elder of the Green Clan nodded. Next, Mu Lingfeng, Han Qiu, Guyu, and the others also completed their subduing. They were very fast, far faster than the others. They were the most outstanding ones in the first echelon. The elders of the Mountain Sea Palace also nodded slightly. Not bad. The first place would probably be one of them. Elder Feiyu, you acted fast. You actually took Guyu as your disciple. Many people looked at a woman and said with a smile. Their eyes were filled with envy. Elder Feiyu was also a beast tamer with 5 souls. He laughed. Of course I acted fast. Otherwise, when the competition was over, you would all be fighting for supremacy. Indeed, the elders of the Mountain Sea Palace all had their eyes on these top geniuses. They all wanted to take them as their disciples. However, Guyu and Qing Chen had already become disciples of 2 elders. Only Mu Lingfeng and Han Qiu were left. Out of these 2 people they had to snatch one. The other elders looked around. There were so many of them. It must be a fierce competition to get 2 of them. They had better look at the other geniuses. At this moment, someone revealed a look of surprise. This little fellow was not bad. The one who spoke was an old woman. She had a head full of silver hair and looked very benevolent. At this moment she was staring at a beautiful figure. This was the illusory sound song. It seemed like she was from the Xiao clan. If he guessed correctly, she should be the #1 genius of the Xiao clan, Xiao Xiu. Elder Xian Gui also turned his head and smiled. That's right, he is engaged to my disciple. However, even though you're the #1 genius of the Xiao clan, you're still lacking compared to my disciple. When he said this, his eyes were filled with pride. Is that so? How come I didn't see it? Elder Yen Luo laughed. Although she had a head full of white hair, her face was like that of a 20-year-old woman. Could be said to be very magical. She said. Things had not reached the final step, so it was better not to jump to conclusions too early. If he could get into the top 10, perhaps there was no need to continue this engagement. Elder Yen Luo, it's not that I want to criticize you, but do you think highly of her? However, it was impossible for him to enter the top 10. Elder Black Tortoise snorted. Below, Xiao Xiu still did not know that the elders of the Mountain Sea Palace were fighting for her. At this moment she took a deep breath, took out her jade flute, and began to perform the illusory sound song. What she wanted to subdue was an owl with 6 heads. It was a very strange and terrifying demonic beast. Lin Xian walked up and slapped at the owl. His huge hands swept through the air and enveloped the owl with 6 heads. The owl roared, and its 6 heads shot out fire, lightning, and hailstones. It was obvious that it was proficient in many types of laws. In front of the golden hand, everything was useless. It was directly suppressed to the ground. This scene caused many people to be surprised. This little guy's physique was not bad. To be able to withstand so many laws, he seemed to be a body-tempering expert. Discussions broke out one after another. The people of the Xiao clan were also surprised. It seemed like they had underestimated Lin Xian. Qing Chen's eyes flickered. He had already completed his task, so he stood aside to watch the battle. When he saw Lin Xian's strength, a glint appeared in his eyes. This person's physique was not ordinary. He asked the man in armor next to him. "Black armor, can you tell what kind of physique he has?" Black armor looked at him and frowned slightly. He could not tell unless he attacked with his full strength. Qing Qin shook his head. So what if he was strong? He could not be compared to him at all. If he wanted to kill him, he could use his demonic beast to tear him into pieces. Lin Xian suppressed the six-headed owl. Xiao Xiu quickly moved, and the illusory sound song turned into an attack to control it. Now that she was a two-soul beast tamer, it was not difficult for her to control this owl. As expected, she succeeded in a short while. The owl surrendered. Seeing this, the people of the Xiao clan laughed. Great, Xiao Xiu succeeded. Xiao Xiu's uncle looked gloomy. Soon he laughed because he saw his daughter, Xiao Yu, had succeeded as well. There were two people left. They looked down. Xiao Yunshu was very serious. She had just broken through and became a one-soul beast tamer. Now that she encountered such a situation, she was naturally nervous. At this moment, she was staring at an Arctic crocodile. The crocodile was emitting a strong chill that froze the world. Beside her, Mr. Xiao Yao used two soul hands to suppress it. And she used the illusory sound song with all her might. In the meantime, she felt the chill and frost formed on her body. But in the end, she succeeded. The Arctic crocodile surrendered under her feet. That's great. She had succeeded. Turning around, she saw Xiao Xiu had also completed her task. The two looked at each other and smiled. Xiao Xiu said, "Sister Yunshu, do your best. Let's continue." Xiao Yunshu nodded. She looked at Lin Xian with shock in her eyes. She saw Lin Xian's attack earlier. She was surprised by his physique. It was stronger than she had imagined. Such a terrifying owl that knew 6 types of laws was suppressed by Lin Xian with one slap. Could not resist at all. What kind of power was this? This despicable guy had been hiding his strength all this time. Sister Xiu, you can do it. You can definitely enter the top 10. Xiao Yunshu took a deep breath. With Lin Xian's help, Xiao Xiu's chances were very high. At this moment, a cold laugh was heard. Sister Yunshu, you're really ignorant. She has no chance. Even if she has a chance, it's me. I'm the #1 genius of the Xiao clan. Lin Xian heard this and turned around. He saw a slender figure. It was Xiao Yu. The corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up into a smile. It seemed that there were indeed many people who overestimated themselves. Shaking his head, Lin Xian ignored the other party. Chapter 4584. Lin Xian said without turning his head. You're not qualified to be our opponent. Let's go. He and Xiao Xiu walked to the side. Xiao Yu gritted her teeth. Damn it, I'll prove it to him. I'm the strongest. A day passed by very quickly. All the demon beasts returned to the space crack with the sound of thunder, and disappeared without a trace. Only those that were successfully subdued were still crawling at the feet of the crowd. Elder Qiling walked over and said, "Those who failed, please leave." Nearly half of the people left. They were very excited before coming, but now they had to leave dejectedly. They didn't expect that they couldn't even pass the first round. The people around were also surprised. Some of them were geniuses. They were usually very strong. They didn't expect that they would be defeated. Some elders shook their heads and sighed. It was different from when they were subdued. Usually the environment was very good, so they didn't have to worry. But now they had to worry about the attacks of other beasts. Naturally, their efficiency was greatly reduced. It seemed that they didn't have enough training. Next, everyone had the time of an incense stick to burn to recover. After that, Elder Qiling walked over again. He said that the second round of the competition would begin. This time they had to subdue 3 beasts, and only the top 50 could successfully advance. They also only had 1 day. As soon as he said that, the people around went crazy. Although half of them were eliminated, there were still nearly 300 people left. Now, more people would be eliminated. Only 50 people would succeed, and they had to subdue 2 or 3 beasts in 1 day. The difficulty had more than doubled. Many people's faces turned ugly. It was too difficult. It was more difficult than they imagined. Xiao Yunshu's face turned ugly. She had just become a one-soul beast tamer. With her strength, subduing 3 beasts wasn't a problem. But to do it in 1 day, she couldn't do it. Not to mention her, few people could do it. They didn't expect the second round to be so difficult. Xiao Yunshu sighed. It seemed that they could only fight with their backs against the wall. Xiao Xiu also took a deep breath. This time there might not be 50 people who could complete it. It seemed that they had to show their true strength. She looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded. Don't worry, I'll do my best to help you. Following that order, the 300 or so people who had succeeded once again attacked. The demonic beast cracks in the sky appeared, becoming incomparably terrifying. This time there were even more of them than before. Each and every one of them roared at the sky. Just the terrifying aura alone was enough to make people feel as if they were facing a great enemy. Not to mention that they had to dodge the attacks and control them at the same time. Furthermore, they had to control 3 demonic beasts at the same time. Among them, a figure soared into the sky. A huge barrier sealed everything. His terrifying gaze turned into a blade, cutting everything. The crowd cried out in surprise. It was Qing Qin. He was really strong, like a god among the demonic beasts. Did you see that? Those demonic beasts saw him. They all backed down. Exclamations of surprise could be heard. So powerful. His speed had increased by several times. He estimated that the time he could control the demonic beast would be even shorter than before. It seemed that he had indeed not used his full strength before. Many people cried out in surprise. Elder Black Tortoise laughed. As expected of my disciple. Then he looked at Xiao Shiyu and said, it seems that the difference between the two of them is like heaven and earth. This Xiao Shiyu is not worthy of my disciple. What was he being so arrogant for? No one could say for sure until the end. Elder Yen Luo snorted coldly. She could not stand the smug look on his face. She said, I think this Xiao Shiyu is not bad. What? Do you want to take him as your disciple? I advise you not to do so. Elder Black Tortoise sneered. Elder Yen Luo still wanted to say something, but at this time, there was a change in the square in front of them. An earth-shattering roar could be heard, followed by a terrifying explosion. 2 figures flew out and vomited blood. There were more than a dozen people around them who were affected. Everyone looked over and sucked in a breath of cold air. It turned out that the demonic beasts were angry. The 2 of them had ugly expressions on their faces. They were seriously injured. Previously they were controlling the demonic beasts. They were too anxious and controlled 2 demonic beasts at the same time. The 2 demonic beasts were angry and attacked them, causing the surroundings to shake. The 2 of them were seriously injured and the people around them were also affected. Xiao Yunshu was also affected. This time she controlled a cheetah with 3 heads. It was abnormally terrifying. She carefully controlled it, but she did not expect the demonic beast in front of her to roar. The 3 cheetahs in front of her were also angry. They attacked her with their claws. She quickly dodged. Although she was not injured, she was still affected. Moreover, the control effect from before had completely disappeared. It would be much more difficult to control them again. Damn it. Xiao Yunshu gritted her teeth. She was not very confident in the first place. Now, after this incident, she had no chance at all. Thinking of this, she was so anxious that she was about to cry. In the distance, the people of Xiao clan saw this scene and shook their heads and sighed. The red-haired elders sighed. It was too difficult for Xiao Yunshu now. Lin Xian naturally saw this scene. His soul power was very strong. He had a panoramic view of the situation in the square. When he caught sight of this, he controlled young Mr. Xiao Yao and had Xiao Yao say something. Young Master Xiao Yao walked over and said in a deep voice, Fairy Yunshu, although you have failed this time, it is an important experience for you in your life. From now on, you will have a deeper understanding of beasts. Moreover, you will be able to watch the process of others controlling beasts. No one's life will be smooth sailing. Wind and rain will only make people stronger. Xiao Yunshu was stunned. She looked at young Master Xiao Yao and said, Thank you. I understand. She took a deep breath. She did not control the 3 cheetahs anymore. Instead, she pushed them far away. She knew that if she continued, it would be futile. Rather than that, she might as well admit defeat. Xiao Yunshu was not the only one. There were more than 10 people like her. They knew that they were no match for them, so they decisively gave up. Xiao Yunshu came to the back to watch the battle. She looked at Xiao Shiyu. She was probably the only one in the Xiao clan who could succeed. Sure enough, Xiao Shiyu fought steadily. She controlled a demonic beast. The phantom melody covered the sky and covered the ground, enveloping her opponent and attacking his soul. The demonic beast in front was a rhinoceros. It had purple runes on its body. It was abnormally terrifying. Its strength was so great that the sky and earth cracked. However, it could not escape from Lin Xian's palm. Not only that, Lin Xian suppressed the purple rhinoceros with one hand. Then, the surrounding demonic beasts that rushed up were all slapped away by him. The situation was like swatting flies. Xiao Yunshu was shocked. These were all Sank King-level demonic beasts. However, they were easily slapped away by the other party. Moreover, there was more than one of them. His strength was heaven-defying. Chapter 4585. The others were shocked as well, including the people from the Xiao clan. This kid's physique was simply too strong. Even the eyes of the Mountain Sea Palace's elders lit up when they saw him. Elder Yen Luo nodded. Xiao Yu was lucky to find such a helper. It seemed that there was still hope. Elder Xian Gui frowned. But soon he stopped paying attention to it because his disciple had completed his task. The three demonic beasts were groveling at his feet. Qing Chen was like a god looking down at everyone. Great. Elder Xian Gui laughed happily. This time Qing Chen's speed was faster than Gu Yu's. He was the first to complete his task, which attracted many people's attention. The clan leader of the Green Clan also laughed. Great, he was so happy. At this rate he might be able to get first place. Qing Chen stood there with a confident smile on his face. He glanced at Lone Moon and snorted. So what if Lone Moon was a three-soul beast tamer? He had a strong helper who was not weaker than Lone Moon. Then he looked at Xiao Xiu. Seeing that Xiao Xiu was still doing her task, he snorted. Just wait and see. When he successfully ascended to first place, he wanted to see how these two people would be able to contend against him. As expected of young Master Qing Chen, he was indeed powerful. The expert from the Myriad Transformation clan laughed. People from other clans and sects also congratulated Qing Chen. Congratulations to the clan leader of the Green Clan for having such a good son. I think young Master Qing Chen is going to get first place this time. Hearing those people's congratulations, the clan leader of the Green Clan laughed. The people of the Green Clan also held their heads high. Soon roaring sounds came from the front. Gu Yu had also completed his task. Then it was Han Qiu, Mu Lingfeng and a few others. They had all controlled three demonic beasts. Although they were a little behind, they were not too far behind. Their strength was almost the same. Until the end, no one would know how the rankings of these people would be decided. However, other than these few people, it was impossible for the others to complete the task. Because these few people were far ahead of the others. The families of these few geniuses heaved a sigh of relief. Great. The people of the Xiao clan looked solemn. Qing Chen and the others belonged to the first group. Xiao Xiu was the number one genius of the Xiao family, but in the entire Shanghai city she belonged to the second tier. At this moment the competition was still ongoing. There shouldn't be a problem. The seventh elder looked at his daughter's serious expression and took a deep breath. The others were also nervous. Eldest uncle, who was speaking softly, had a sneer on his face. He knew that Xiao Xiu was going to be in trouble. Not only her, but Lin Xian beside her was also going to be in trouble. Because these two people had offended Qing Chen. With the strength that Qing Chen had displayed, it was very likely that he would be able to obtain the first place. At that time, if the other party were to make a move, the two of them would not be able to escape death. This way, he would be able to get rid of a great enemy without having to do anything. Thinking of this, first uncle was very happy. Time passed slowly. There was only one day left. Most of the day had passed and the sun was about to set. During this process quite a few people failed, coughing out blood and suffering injuries, retreating in dejection. Of course there were also some who succeeded and they were very happy. There were even more who were still working hard. They had a high chance of succeeding, but if they were not careful they might fail. Xiao Xiu was in such a situation. The beasts in front of her were being suppressed by her palm, and she was continuously performing the hallucination song. From the start till now she had not stopped. To her this was a huge drain. This was because the soul resistance of these beasts was very scary. She was affected, but luckily she did not have to worry about the other beasts. This was because any beast that dared to come close would be slapped away by Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, "Don't worry, this is the last one. There's still time. We can definitely pass." Xiao Xiu nodded and did not say anything. However, she was very grateful. With Lin Xian here, she felt that he could do anything. Countless people were paying attention to this battle, especially those from Shanghai Palace. They had to select some geniuses from here for each battle. Naturally, Qing Chen and the other three experts were chosen. Moreover, there was no problem for these people to enter Shanghai Palace. However, as for the others, they were also observing. At this moment, a cloud floated up from afar, and there was a young man on it. He sat there lazily and looked down. His gaze swept across the area. It seemed that there were many experts this time. That was the number one genius of the Green Clan. He was really arrogant. Did he think that he was number one now? The young man looked at Qing Chen and snorted coldly. Then he looked back. Mu Lingfeng was calm and composed. It seemed that he still had a trump card. This Han Qiu was also mysterious. It seemed that he had not used his full strength. This person was a little interesting. When the young man looked at Guyu, a smile appeared on his face. I finally understood why he did not need any help. The people around were very surprised to hear this. Who was this person who could level the world? When they saw the 5 runes in the eyes of the young man's sleeves, they were all stunned. He turned out to be a 5-soul beast tamer. The elders of the Mountain Sea Palace also saluted him. Greetings, Elder Ruochen. This made those from other sects even more shocked. These people were also 5-soul beast tamers, but they were so respectful to this young man. It was not hard to imagine how terrifying this young man's strength and status were. Elder Ruochen nodded slightly and looked around again. When he saw Lin Xian, his eyes lit up and a smile appeared on his face. Not bad. Interesting. Although this young man was not a beast tamer, his physique was really amazing. He should be famous for his super strong physique. To be able to hire such a person as a helper. He looked at Xiao Xiu and nodded slightly. Although she was not as good as Qing Chen and the others, she was still in the process. However, she did not make any mistakes from the beginning to the end. It seemed that her soul foundation was very deep, and her talent was not bad. If she was trained well, she would be a strong person in the future. More importantly, he could see that Xiao Xiu was much younger than Qing Chen, Lone Moon, and the others. The experts of Shanghai Palace around were surprised. Elder Ruochen thought highly of Xiao Xiu. It was really incredible. Elder Ruochen said calmly. Just look around. Suddenly, he looked at Lin Xian with a trace of surprise in his eyes. Then he sensed carefully and a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Interesting. It was getting more and more interesting. It seemed that it was hard to tell who would win this time. The elders around were all stunned. Elder Shengue said, Elder Ruochen, do you really think highly of Xiao Xiu? It was not even possible for her to enter the top 10. Yes, she was too young. She might have a chance next time. Another elder next to him said. Chapter 4586. Elder Black Turtle's expression changed. Of course, I don't dare to refute Elder Ruochen. But forgive me for my ignorance. I really don't see how they can win. The other elders were also discussing. Then they asked Elder Ruochen to give them some advice. Elder Ruochen stood on the cloud. The corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. Although he had the appearance of a youth, he was an old monster. He said with a smile. His focus was not on Xiao Xiu. Xiao Xiu was not bad, but it was a little difficult for her to get into the top 10 this time. She was at the top of the second echelon. As she grew older, she would definitely be in the top echelon. As soon as he said that, everyone nodded. That was what they thought. That was why they thought Yi Xian would not get into the top 10 this time. Was there a problem? At this moment, Elder Ruochen changed the topic and said, but the assistant next to him is not ordinary. With his help, this time I think it will be very interesting. I don't know how far he can go. The assistant next to him? Countless elders looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian was suddenly surrounded by soul pressure. The monsters in front of him were all lying on the ground. Everyone was surprised. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Although he did not look back, he could sense that the elders of the Mountain Sea Palace were looking at him. Thinking of that, he smiled. Did they notice something different about me? Looks like there are really strong people in the Mountain Sea Palace. Xiao Xiu's face turned pale as well. However, she soon felt that the elders had retracted their gazes. We didn't see anything. Elder Black Turtle and others were confused. Elder Ruochen said, it's normal that you can't see anything because this guy is hiding very well. After saying that, he did not say anything else. Instead, he sat cross-legged on the cloud. He was surprised. Although he was also a beast tamer with a martial soul, he was much stronger than Elder Black Turtle and others. Therefore, he could see that Lin Xian not only had a super strong body, but also a terrifying soul. However, the moment he looked at the other party, just as he wanted to see through the other party's secrets, he discovered that there was a pair of golden eyes above him, looking down at him as if warning him. That was an eye technique. Not only that, it was an extremely powerful eye technique. Although the young man in front of him wasn't a beast master, he had a pair of incomparably mystical eyes. If this pair of eyes were to explode with power, it would be unimaginable. Controlling demonic beasts would not be a problem at all. That was why he said that no one knew the final outcome. Everything depended on Lin Xian's performance. The surrounding elders became even more curious. They all knew about Elder Ruochen's side. The people that he thought highly of were all top-notch experts. He was probably even stronger than Qing Chen and the others. However, they really couldn't figure out who this strange man was. He is Xiao Shiyu's assistant. In that case, the Xiao clan should know of his identity. Should we head to the Xiao clan and ask them about it? Some elders stood up, and the others nodded in agreement. However, Elder Ruochen opened his eyes and said with a smile, "Sit down. There's no need to ask. If this little guy really wanted to help Xiao Shiyu, he would definitely unleash more of his strength. At that time you will see his true strength." Up ahead, the competition continued. Xiao Shiyu was still not done. Because of the anger of the demonic beast, she was also affected by it. She was stronger than Xiao Yunshu, so she was able to block it. However, it still affected her speed. At that moment, it was already the final moment. She would be done soon. At that moment, the three demonic beasts at the side were crawling at Xiao Yu's feet. Xiao Yu stood up with a smile on her face. She looked at Xiao Shiyu and snorted. "Did you see that? I'm faster than you. I am the #1 genius of the Xiao clan." The people of the Xiao clan were also surprised. Eldest uncle even laughed. As expected of his daughter, she didn't let him down. This time her speed was even faster than Xiao Shiyu's. This way he could fight for more resources for his daughter. Once she became the young clan leader, it would be theirs. Xiao Shiyu's mother, the seventh elder, snorted. If it wasn't for the anger of the demonic beast, Xiao Shiyu would have completed it. What was there to be arrogant about? Eldest uncle laughed. That's not right. The process of the battle wasn't important. What was important was the result. Now, it was clear that my daughter's strength and talent were above Xiao Yu's. Both sides were at loggerheads with each other. Third elder came out to mediate. Alright, everyone was from the same clan. They had to fight for the glory of the Xiao clan. The seventh elder snorted in anger. Eldest uncle also sat down proudly. At that moment, another roar came from the front. Xiao Shiyu stood up. She had successfully subdued the three demonic beasts. That's great. The seventh elder's lips curled into a smile. In the front, Xiao Shiyu heaved a sigh of relief. It was finally done. You must be tired. Lin Xian laughed. If it wasn't for the anger of the demonic beasts, we would have completed it long ago. Xiao Shiyu nodded. That's right. Anyway, we have passed the second round. We still have to work hard for the third round. What's there to be arrogant about being the last one to complete it? Xiao Yu sneered. Lin Xian glanced at her and shook his head. She really didn't know what was good for her. Up until now he hadn't shown his strength. He only helped Xiao Shiyu to subdue the demonic beast. If he could display his powerful soul power, their strength would undergo an earth-shattering change. At that time these people would be scared silly. That was why he didn't say anything. Just you wait, he will soon reveal his true strength. This time there were 4 participants from the Xiao clan. Among them, Xiao Shiyu and Xiao Yu had successfully passed the second round. Xiao Yunshu and Xiao Ning were defeated. The people of the Xiao clan were discussing. The clan leader also said that half of them had successfully passed the second round. It seemed like there was a high chance that the Mountain Sea Palace would take a liking to them. Eldest uncle sneered. Xiao Shiyu's talent was already at this stage. She would definitely be defeated in the third round. The glory of the Xiao clan depended on her daughter. If her daughter performed well, there was a high chance that the Mountain Sea Palace would take a liking to her. At that time she would really soar to the sky. However, the people of the Green clan didn't think so. The Xiao clan was simply too weak compared to them. Qingchen walked over and looked down at them. Shiyu, did you see that? Although you are also a 2-soul beast tamer, you have just completed it. Moreover, you have too little experience in battles. Usually, you have the help of those clans. Now that you are in a real battlefield, you won't be able to go far. So just admit defeat. If you beg me and I am in a good mood, I can give you a way out. Moreover, I will kill this kid. Qingchen was like a high and mighty emperor. Do you know the difference between you and a fly? Xiao Shiyu said coldly. You are more annoying than a fly. After saying that, she turned around and left. Lin Xian looked at Qingchen and sneered. Do you really think you are #1? I am afraid you are not qualified to be arrogant in front of me. Seeing this scene, Qingchen clenched his teeth. Qingchen gritted his teeth so hard that they were about to shatter. Just wait, the third stage was coming soon. After it ends, he will let these two know what despair is. Chapter 4587. Finally, the day was over, and those demonic beasts once again returned to the spatial rift. Elder Qiling walked out and looked at the people in the square below. There were only 45 people left in the square, not even 50 people were left. One could only imagine how terrifying the second stage was. Those who had completed the second stage looked solemn. They knew that there would be a tougher competition waiting for them. These 45 people were all experts among experts. None of them were weak. However, they still had to choose the top 10. Only the top 10 would be chosen by Shanghai Palace. It seemed like the following competition would be even more exciting. Elder Seven Spirits looked down and said, "In order to give you guys some motivation, I've decided to announce the rewards that our Mountain Sea Palace has carefully prepared this time." Hearing this, many people's eyes lit up in anticipation. There were many families in Shanghai City, but the strongest was still Shanghai Palace. They had been around for so long that no one knew when Shanghai Palace had been around. It seemed like Shanghai Palace had been around ever since Shanghai City was built. For such a terrifying and ancient sect, the prize must be amazing. Everyone was looking forward to it. Elder Seven Spirits' voice rang out as the reward for the first place. It was a unique soul technique, the seal of life and death. Hearing this, many people were in an uproar. The family members of the beast tamers were envious because they had heard that it was a terrifying soul technique. Only people in Shanghai Palace had it, and it was very rare. Only a small number of elders could cultivate it. They did not expect it to be taken out as the prize for the first place. The seal of life and death, as the name suggested, could allow one to live or die with a thought. It could be said to be a terrifying soul technique. As expected, the Green Clan and Shao Clan all stood up. Especially the Green Clan, they were extremely excited. If Qingchen could get first place, the seal of life and death would be theirs. On the square, Qingchen's eyes shone brightly. No matter what, he had to get the seal of life and death. Beside him, Guyu, Mu Linfeng, and Han Qiu's eyes shone with a terrifying light. This thing, they will also fight for it. That was because to them it was a supreme treasure. As for the others, they could only be envious. First place was too far away for them. The reward for the second place was a Saint King Grade Soul Saint artifact. It was equally terrifying. After obtaining it, coupled with his soul energy, his strength would increase exponentially. The reward for the third place was a demonic beast. It was a demonic beast. Furthermore, it could grow. Once he grew up, he would be incomparably terrifying. He would definitely be the most valiant assistant. The rewards for the top 3 were unparalleled, and any one of them could cause a storm in Shanghai City. In particular, the seal of life and death was something that countless people yearned for. Apart from the top 3, the rewards for the top 10 were also very generous. In short, it was enough to make everyone jealous. When the atmosphere calmed down, Elder Seven Spirits spoke once more. Also, to be able to get into the top 10, they were all top geniuses. In that case, no one will be able to touch you. You will receive the protection of the Mountain Sea Palace. Once these words were spoken, everyone cried out in alarm again. This was equivalent to a life-saving talisman. The Mountain Sea Palace was the only overlord. None of the beast tamer clans dared to offend them. Therefore, it was everyone's dream to receive such treatment. Hearing these words, Xiao Xiu's eyes lit up. If she could get it, even if she left her clan, the Green Clan would not dare to touch her. They would also not let her get married. Therefore, she had to get into the top 10. The other people were also discussing spiritedly. At this moment, Elder Seven Spirits spoke once more. It seemed like the rewards were not over yet. As expected, Elder Seven Spirits spoke. Apart from these rewards, those who intend to get into the top 10 may be noticed by the elders of the Mountain Sea Palace. They may even take you in as a disciple. Join the Mountain Sea Palace. The people in the square took a deep breath. To be able to join the Mountain Sea Palace was a great honor. Their status and strength would soar to the heavens. As expected of the Mountain Sea Palace. Any reward that came out was enough to make people jealous. The surrounding spectators were also discussing. They had already started to guess the top 10 rankings. The top 3 would be from Qingchen, Guiyue, and the others. However, the top 10 was not so certain. Everyone looked hopeful. However, they did not know how to compete in the last round. Elder Seven Spirits said, "The last round will take a long time. We will release the demonic beasts in 10 days. This time, the demonic beasts will be from the early stage of the Saint King realm to the late stage of the Saint King realm. You will try your best to control the strongest demonic beast you can control. Then you will compete. The rankings will be based on your victory and defeat." Next, Elder Seven Spirits spoke in more detail about the competition. Everyone was shocked. This time, not only did they have to control the demonic beasts, they also had to fight with them. It was indeed the Mountain Sea Battle Beast. This was the most important part. Lin Xian also took a deep breath. Are there still battles? He nodded slightly. In that case, the rankings were based on the level of the demonic beast they could control and the results of the battles. If they could control a late-stage Saint King realm demonic beast. If others could not control it, then there was no need to compete. They would be first. However, no one present could control a late-stage Saint King realm demonic beast. No matter how powerful Qingchen and the others were, they could only control a mid-stage Saint King realm demonic beast. In that case, they would have to compete. Xiao Xiu took in a deep breath as well. Her future would depend on the ranking this time. As long as she could get into the top 10, she would not need to get married. Otherwise, she would end up in a miserable state. Therefore, this was a battle with her back against the wall. Lin Xian walked over and said, "Don't worry. With my help, you won't have a problem getting into the top 10. In the end, this battle could finally make him take it seriously. Next, everyone started to recover. A day later, everyone stood up. The enchantment around them became even more terrifying. And a crack appeared in the sky again. This time, a terrifying aura descended from the sky and swept in all directions. There were not only mid-stage Saint King realm demonic beasts, but also late-stage Saint King realm demonic beasts. The late-stage Saint King realm demonic beast was called the Golden Spiritual Beast. It was surrounded by golden light. It brought with it great power. It was like a supreme overlord. It came to the sky and roared. The demonic beasts around it all left. No one dared to approach the space where it was. In the square, those beast tamers also took a deep breath. They felt a great pressure. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.